Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to J is for Justice Wednesday night call-in show. Hopefully my audio is loud enough. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a good day today. I'm a little crispy tonight. Crispy meaning I spent the day outside, and it was much needed, guys. It was much needed. So it cooled down here in Florida, but it's like raging hot up north. So I hope you guys up north are staying cool tonight, because it's hot up there. It's, I think, hotter up in Michigan than it is in Florida. So that's kind of bananas. But welcome in, guys. I hope you guys are doing well. This is a live chat reminder. We're going to be opening up the phone lines tonight. Welcome in the moderators, Kendi and Shell. Lip. And Shane Culkin, the Culks, is here.
Everyone's get treated like skunks.
Hello, Shell. Did I say hi to you already? That looks like all the moderators. You guys be nice to your mods. They are the best mods on YouTube. Cool as a cucumber. I heard it's hot in New York. I heard it's hot up in the NY. In the NYC. It's only 78 in Utah. Women are sacred. Thank you for being a member for how many months? 6 months. Wow. Thank you so much for your support. It's a scorcher in New Hampshire. 82 in Texas. Hot as balls, says Shell. Hot in PA. 3 fans running and 2 air conditioners. I know our electric bill is going to love us this month, right? Southern California. Hello, Agent 99. Let me know where you're from, y'all. In Ohio, it's 91. Hi, Amy. I hope you're doing good today. Mr. Scott H. Hello. It's the official.
Directly off.
Hello, Granny. Hello, Crimes. Only 104 in Arizona. No big deal. Well, you're getting some rain. Yeah, it's been hot. It's hotter up north than it is here. That's pretty crazy. So I just got done. Hello, Guidance. I hope you're doing well. I just got done watching Nancy Grace. Good evening, Jess. She had Madeline Soto's aunt on the show, and I wanted to watch it because I thought maybe we could play it and talk about it, but there really was nothing new. Have you guys seen that yet? She put out like a clip yesterday. It was about 5 minutes or so, and then she put out like a 45-minute show today, but there was really nothing new. 95 in Indiana with humidity. Y'all get that humidity up there and y'all freaking out. Like, I've been watching the news up in Detroit and they're like, there are several cooling centers open. It's like, what? It's 100 degrees here and 100% humidity every day. So like they are dying up there and it's just so funny. They had like tips on the news And they were like, you know, make sure your kids are drinking water and all this like common sense stuff. I was like, what the fuck? Every year, it's like the first snow. And then when it gets hot in Michigan, everybody freaks out. Rhonda, it's good to see you. Heal with Chrissy. Hello in Buffalo. Starry Night, good to see you. Twins, Maggie, Catherine, one step closer. I'm okay. You're okay. Everybody's okay. Mandy Moo is hot and humid. KLS. Hello, Rainbow. Rose Reed. Olivia B. I know a lot of them, some of them don't have AC, central AC. I know. It's making me miss home too. So we're going to open up the phone lines and we're going to talk about where you are in the Sebastian Rogers case. That's what I want to know tonight, because we're going to watch this video that I put out today, and then we're going to talk about where we are at in this case. Cheryl, isn't it beautiful? Cheryl says it is 82 in Tarpon Springs. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Florida. I'm not trying to brag, because I like to brag about snacks, but it was really pretty here today. And I got out and I weeded and I did some planting, and it was good for the soul. I'm a little rejuvenated, if you will. Oh yeah, if you don't like humidity, not good. Natalie Scanlon, you sold your house today. Congratulations. That's good news. You got caught up in the nonsense. Savage Life is freaking hilarious. Okay, can I make an announcement about Savage? Savage, I don't know if you listen to me or not, but if you do, you and Val need a morning show, like for real. Those women have me in fucking stitches. They are so funny. They have so much fun. There's no pressure on them. They're just watching shit, commenting on it. They are hysterical. But we haven't heard much from, TikTok Tony, Seth, the Proudfoots, things like that. We haven't heard anything. So I kind of took a step back and I was like, where do I stand with this case? Like, where do we go now? Because I don't want Sebastian's name to be like to the wayside. It's only been 3 months, not 3 years. So it's like, how do you continue going forward in a case that the parents have managed to make a complete shit show? So this is kind of where I went with it, because I never really knew what happened that first week before we started watching the interviews and watching this shit show unravel, if you will. John Dillinger says, I stopped giving a crap. If we all ignore them, he will show up. So a lot of you are thinking this might be a hoax then. Like, They were meant to be best friends. Thanks for telling your people to go check them out. Yeah, they're funny. If you like off the cuff, like no filter, they're funny as hell. Oh, maybe because Faith is visiting. Yeah. And I've been seeing, you know what? And that's kind of where I had to take a step back to, was I saw that there were pictures of Katie that surfaced out to dinner with Faith and people making live streams about that. And I don't want to go there. Like, Faith is not something that I want to focus on. It's none of my business where Faith is or what Faith is doing. I mean, that's just how I feel. That's somebody else's child. You know what I mean? It's part of Chris Proudfoot, but she also has a mother, Nina, and I don't know. Shane Culkin, what do you have to say? Unfortunately, I don't know this case very well. I'm going to read this Shane style. Hold on. Unfortunately, I don't know this case very well, but I'll stay as long as I can take. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your super chat, Shane. I appreciate you. Yeah, I want to know where you guys are with this as my viewers, my listeners. But let's go back to that first week. And let's walk through. Hey, Potato, welcome in, welcome in. And welcome in, Jess. And I saw somebody else. Cheryl, my lovely Auntie Cheryl. The first interview with Seth, how about before they even spoke? Let's take a listen to this.
Year-old Sebastian Rogers.
He always was smiling. Sebastian, a ray of sunshine.
Just a fun, loving kid.
From the halls and classrooms at T.W. Hunter Middle School in Hendersonville.
He has a great sense of humor. He loves people. He loves animals.
So talented.
He's extremely smart. He's just somebody that you would think is very typical, and you might just see him like walking around, and you would have absolutely no idea that he had any type of deficits at all.
Now, don't you find that interesting that his teacher, his 8th grade teacher, or one of his 8th grade teachers, said that if you saw him walking around, you would think he had no deficits at all. How are we supposed to absorb that, guys? I mean, in all reality, we have all sat here for 3 months talking about this case, talking about what could have happened to Sebastian. And we've been misled, it seems like. Yeah, he's a mod, but he's not here all the time. W. Shane Culkin actually has a life, unlike me. I'm just kidding. And that's kind of Micro Kim why I wanted to go back to the beginning. I have several thoughts. I mean, I've thought about a couple things like, what if, because, okay, here's one theory for you guys to mull over. Remember when Heather, the PI, said that there was seemingly, allegedly trouble in paradise between Katie and Chris, and that she said to go back to like December. And that's when you'll see when things started happening in the chaos in Sebastian's life. So if you think that maybe Chris was going to leave Katie because he wanted to have faith, could this be Katie's plan? Like, could it be just Katie that knows? Could it be just a Katie plan? Like, I don't want to lose my husband, so I'm going to do this. Maybe he doesn't even know. Is it a Katie and Seth plan? And Chris doesn't know. I mean, there's so many different, it's like the game of Clue, literally. It makes me sick saying that, but it literally is. All right, so we're going to go to the beginning. The parents' initial statements.
Plea for information as the desperate search for a missing Sumner County boy intensifies. Unfortunately, there is still no sign of 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, despite exhaustive efforts.
Rogers' relatives declined to speak to the press, but did share a statement through the TBI on Wednesday evening. Understandably, there is interest in hearing from friends and family to help provide more of a personal context about Sebastian. However, we have been requested by the family to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak to or be available to the media at this time. Okay, let's take the first statement. I'm assuming this is from the family, right? They let TBI know to release a statement. This is right off the rip. If you wanted people looking for your child, why would you tell law enforcement, we don't want anything to do with the media? Those are the clues. This whole first week is one big ass clue. Because in the first week, we all know the first 48 hours are the most pivotal when someone goes missing. The first week, these motherfuckers were zipping the lip. We don't want nothing to do with local media. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to see them. Nothing. Why? Isn't that when you would be in the media's face, when you would be wanting to get the information out there? See, I think this shit started before there was even one interview. I've never heard of that before. Something ain't right. So you know that the police already at the very beginning were like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Because that just ain't right. But they're telling law enforcement suggests that you get in front of media. Right? They want you to do that. They want you to plead. So for a whole week, Sebastian could have been seeing them on TV. For a whole week. He could have been seeing them on the TV saying, we love you. We want you to come home. But instead, through TBI, they said, leave us alone. Weird. Listen to their statement again.
Despite exhaustive efforts.
Rogers' relatives declined to speak to the press, but did share a statement through the TBI on Wednesday evening. 2 days. Understandably, there is interest in hearing from friends and family to help provide more of a personal context about Sebastian. However, we have been requested by the family to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak to or be available to the media at this time, the statement said. In order for him to do something that's out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he felt like he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Mr. Rogers told WTVF in his first interview during a prayer vigil on Sunday. So we have 2 days in, them telling the TBI, let the local media know our statement is we don't want to talk. And then you have a weekend, Mr. Seth Rogers at a vigil saying in order for him to do something that's so out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he felt like he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Emergency Management Agency Director Ken Widener added that since Rogers' disappearance, search dogs have not been able to pick up a scent. We were told they search did. Teams have covered approximately We were told that they did. 2,000 miles. Officials said Monday, March 4th, they plan to scale back the ground search operations for the boy and plan to transition to the investigative side of the case, adding they have, quote, no reason to believe the teen isn't alive. A Kentucky landfill was searched on March 7th, but no leads or evidence were found. Detectives have reported no sign of Sebastian on any ring or trail cameras, by witnesses, or tracking dogs. Officials were hesitant to talk about his shoes. What I can say is his mom says all his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot, Craddock said. The search included helicopters from THP and Metro Nashville Police, a TBI fixed-wing aircraft, 12 canine teams, and more than 10 drones. There were 8 mounted horse units searching Monday and 10 out on Tuesday. Crews are on horse. With this, I don't ever want to hear, L.E. dropped the ball. L.E. didn't do shit. L.E., L.E., L.E. There were hundreds of law enforcement officers from across the state out looking for this boy and not one sign. What does that tell you? It's back at Drakes Creek near Beach High School looking for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, an autistic teenager at the center of an Amber Alert who has been missing since Monday. We've actually utilized tactical teams, SWAT teams, and night vision that our operators have, and they've been in the field for many hours at nighttime. All right, I wanted to bring attention to the night vision comment here. Do you remember the neighbor, Bobby or Robbie? She said, "Oh, I saw this guy with goggles," like made it sound all like cryptic and scary. Dude, they were out there with night vision in the field. Statistically, he should be within 0.3 of a mile of his house, and we searched that heavily. We searched it heavily, and we searched it again. We expected that, but we keep expanding our search out. Bobby, yeah. So here's some photos of the search. And if you think these guys are out there for their health, they ain't. Wait till you see the search of the garbage dump. These guys were out there sifting through people's trash, their shitty toilet paper, their nasty, dirty diapers and stuff, scouring through this because why? Because the garbage can was a little heavy. I believe all of them, Alan. The Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers remains active. Anyone with information, call 1-800-TBI-FIND or send an email to tips2tbi@tbi.tn.gov. All right. So with that being said, I think we need to open up those phone lines and take your calls. 727-755-6001 is the number, and the line is open. Potato, you're correct. They could have been searching the landfill for evidence. The lady in the restaurant was not Katie. I don't know if it was her or not. I think it's out of control that people are taking pictures. And if it's not her, then there's a problem because we're getting pictures of complete strangers being put on the net at certain places. Like, that's just not cool. 727-755-6001. The phone line is open. Go ahead and give me a call. Let me know where you stand with this case, what you would like to see creators do at this point, what you think our choices are. I'm at a loss here. I want to keep Sebastian's name out there. Why did they wait so long to search? Right. Why did they go from, this is one hell of a timeline here, if you think about it. If you look back and you're like, okay, they're saying no scent from the dogs. 2 days in, they're declining to speak with anyone. 2 days in. What were they doing? That's what I want to know. What were they doing that first 2 days? We know Seth was there at the house. What's up, Casey? Why would the garbage be so heavy if Chris was out of town all month? Good question. Oh, I know. I can't imagine taking pics of people in a restaurant. Don't do that, you guys. Don't do it. The parents are suspicious. They've been suspicious, but we don't need to take pictures of them. It did look like her, but you know what? Is she not supposed to eat? I guess I don't understand what people expect from her at this point. We've got a caller.
Call from
Granny Bassmaster.
Granny Bassmaster, how are you tonight, honey?
I'm doing very well, Jay. How are you?
I am good. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
A lot of things. This has blown up to be the most crappiest thing I have ever seen. I don't believe he's missing. Katie knows where he's at. You can't find something that was never missing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I believe she knows. I could bank on it. She's maybe the only one that knows where he really is. But she knows. Chris may not have anything to do with this.
Right.
Seth, I'm a little iffy on Seth. He's a little shady himself to me. I'm sorry, but he is. I just get that feeling.
Yeah, I can understand why you feel that way.
But this child may not be gone. He very well may still be with us. And Katie has hid him somewhere. I don't know why she would do that. I'm sure she has a motive. It's wrong. She shouldn't have done it, but I just don't believe he's gone, Jay. She has hid him. This got a whole lot more attention than she ever thought it would. It's running downhill like a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Getting bigger, bigger, bigger. She don't know what to do. She don't know how to stop it.
I agree with that, because even Chris has said we could have never imagined the magnitude that this would have reached.
Exactly. And I'm for one, I don't believe you can find anything that wasn't missing in the first place. And Katie needs to come on and tell us what she did. Call the law enforcement. Just tell them whether it's bad or good. If it's bad, let's bring him home and let's mourn. But if he's not, Katie, you need to tell somebody so he can come back to at least come back to his dad's house. This has gone on long enough, sweetie. That's all I want to say, Jay.
Well, thank you, Granny.
I'm pleading to her as one mother and grandmother to another. Please, Katie, tell them. And I love you, Jay. You hung your head high.
I love you too, Granny. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Granny, with a message for Katie. She says, Katie, come clean. Just tell what you know. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. All right, we're going to do a poll right now, too. Here we go. We're going to give you 3 options. Do you think Sebastian's case is foul play, runaway, or kidnapping? Okay, so that's an interesting question. Cannon Sanders wants to know, if you had a secret, would you tell Seth or Chris? Everybody answer in the chat. Would you tell Seth or would you tell Christopher if you had a secret? 727-755-6001. Call in. Let me know. Who would you trust to keep a secret? CP or SR? Donna, could this be a big training exercise for LE? Why would Chris say this would be one to study for years? You have to choose one, though. You guys, you have to choose one. I see a lot of neithers. You have to choose one or the other. Like, you have a secret and you have to get it off your chest. You have Chris or Seth. Who do you tell? I only see one Seth. That's not too much. Well, foul play means more like a criminal thing. You guys don't even want to choose. Cookie says choosing Chris doesn't mean we trust him with other stuff. Yeah, if you had to. If you had to tell a secret to either Seth or Chris, and you have to pick one or the other, it's either Seth or Chris. Which one would you choose? Neither's not an answer. Seth or Chris? Jess says Chris. I believe he would 100% help with something and keep it to himself. Uh-huh. I think he's good at keeping secrets too. Seth talked too much. I'd pick Chris because he's more shady and will cover my ass. You guys are hilarious. He's the mastermind, you think? Looking beyond? Katie more tight-lipped than both of them. This is true. This is true. Chris, unfortunately, I wouldn't even hang out with them. Oh. You tell a narcissist like Chris, your secret will be used against you, says Protected. Good point. Good point. Good spin to it. April Dawn says it's the hardest thing I've ever typed. Oh my gosh. CP will throw you under the bus, says maybe I can help. 100% Chris. Michelle's exercising her right. Seth would tell Tony. Seth is too emotional and Chris is a narcissistic jackhole. Neither, but I'd pick Chris. Seth runs his mouth to many criminals. It's forcing me to choose which hemorrhoid feels better. Let me make this crystal clear. Chris, people in here think that you would keep a secret better than Seth. That's not really surprising.
I want this to be crystal clear.
Breezy says, Chris and I'd make it crystal clear that it was a secret. Mm-hmm. Well, because Donna 727-755-6001. Call and let me know what you think about this case at this point. Let's see who we've got calling in here. 850.
From.
People in here think that you would.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
This is Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very good. What's your thoughts on this case? What's on your mind?
I was just watching and listening about who would I trust, Chris or Seth.
Yeah, who would it be?
It would be Chris, definitely. Even though I think he had something to do with Sebastian's disappearance, I still think I would trust him more with a secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. That's kind of an interesting question, isn't it? Like, if you need to hide a body, who do you trust, right?
Chris, definitely Chris.
Crazy.
Katie too, but yes. Yes. Okay, well, I'm just watching, hoping we get some updates. There hasn't been an update on the bone yet?
Nope, nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
wow.
We're still waiting on an update for that. Remember the pond in Mississippi? Flowwood Pond?
Yes.
Have no
Yes.
idea who that was. The kids found that leg.
Oh, yeah, with the sock on it.
Mm-hmm. No word on that either.
Oh.
But the 16-year-old in the cemetery, it was a local kid, and it sounds like it was possibly a suicide.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Very sad.
Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
And-
Thanks for calling
And
in.
I'll keep watching. Okay, babe.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. 727-755-6001. Even if you just want to call and tell me, who would you keep a secret with? Who would you tell your secret to? Would you tell it to Chris or would you tell it to Seth?
I want this to be crystal clear. Flung.
Let's come back to your comments. 727-755-6001. And the phone lines are open and ready. How long does it take to find out if a bone is human? I wouldn't think it would take very long. That was torture to answer that. I'd never get close enough to tell Chris anything. Add Don Wells to the choices. Oh my gosh. It is a backhanded compliment. The Bauer Sox mob. Casey says, I would probably tell Chris because I feel like Seth would tell everyone. Oh, shoot. So is it safe to say that we don't think Seth knows where he is? Because Seth can't keep a secret? Do you think that it's possible that, do you think it's possible that only, like we talked about before, like one person knows where he is? No, I said if you had to tell your secret, like if you had to tell someone, like you had to get it off your chest. I said flung and you played it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
there was stuff flung and slung. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, we got a call. Hold on. Ah!
From
Bunny.
Did she say Bubby?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Uh-oh. I lost you, 815. Call me back. 727-755-6001. Who would I pick? I knew someone was going to put me on blast. Oh, I don't want to pick either. I'd have to pick Chris. I am 100% over Seth too. I would have to tell Chris. Oh, sandwich just came in hot. Oh, burn. She said, I would tell Seth's mom she wouldn't want to get nobody in trouble. Ouch. If it's one person, it's Katie's friend Gabby who claims to have never met Chris. I just can't grasp she doesn't know Chris, right? Like they got married, she never found him. Bobby, call back. Hey, titties. 727-755-6001. Bubby or anybody, call back. Callie says, no coincidences, not searching, practicing script, practicing in front of mirrors. Maybe KP has CP snowed. I know, Sheila, that was really mean of me, wasn't it? Amanda, so if you call in, you just mute your YouTube or just turn it down or pause it. And then just call in like a regular phone call. Just make sure your YouTube's not playing in the background by pausing or turning it all the way down or muting it. If it's on your TV. Yay, titties. Oh. 727-755-6001. Bubs is your baby's name, Bubby? I don't think KP's mom wants to talk, B. Frank. Olivia says no, they're definitely in this together. CP, KP, and maybe even Seth. The fake Seth has been deleted, guys. It's been deleted. 727-755-6001 is the phone number. Don't be scared. Just pick up your phone and hit those little digits and let's talk. Here we go. Don't be afraid.
Call from
Amanda.
Hello, ma'am. You are live on the air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Hey, it's Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was asking about calling in because I think I was thinking of StreamYard when people call and they echo and stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so I honestly think, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think that he met somebody online and somehow left. I can't tell you how because there's no, scent of him.
Sure.
Where the dogs picked it up. But I just feel that way, and that probably because I have two teenagers that we ran into some crazy situations on video games.
You did.
Yes, and I don't even, at one point I completely shut down the internet where they couldn't get on, but they were using friends' phones. They were using phones at school. So my opinion, I feel like I've heard them say, oh, he was not allowed. And in my experience, that makes them want to do it more, like behind your back.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't it interesting too, Amanda, that in the very beginning, they all pretty much denied his availability to go online. And then it all came out like, he pretty much had free reign at his dad's anyways.
Yeah, for sure. I think it kind of came out, like more details came out, and we were like, wait, what? I thought he was and plus, he was by himself a lot. And in my opinion, only kids are going to do what they can get away with. And so I learned from my experience with the internet and these games like Roblox, Minecraft. My kids love Roblox. But in my experience only, when you restrict them, then when they come up to, if something comes up, they don't feel comfortable coming to you because they don't want to get in trouble for doing it in the first place.
Right.
So I gave them the knowledge. I've been watching you since before Gabby. So
really?
all day long, all I do is stream YouTube. So they're hearing it, and I have to be selective because I know they're listening, but my daughter also is into Dateline now. We watch it together. So I'm like, girl, all I can do is give you the knowledge and, hope that they make the right choices, because restricting them completely is literally backfired on me. And it turned out worse. She had a whole persona online. I'll just say that. And none of it was true. And she was telling these people online basically lies because it's like a fantasy world. And I'm like, girl, look, if the DHS comes to my freaking house, you're about to be in so much trouble because, none of it was true.
Right. But it's so easy for them to do. And that's, thank you for sharing your story, because it's so easy for them to do. And I'm sure a lot of kids do that because it is a fantasy world. You are anonymous, so to speak, but it's very dangerous. And, kudos to you for keeping an eye on what your kids are doing. First of all.
Yes, I'm like a stalker, but I also give them, I feel like I have to put some trust in them because, especially with a girl, boys too, but with my daughter, I don't ever want her to feel like she can't come to me. If she's literally met people on her game and said, hey, this person, they're asking me this question, but I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell them my name or anything about myself. So I'd rather have that open line of communication.
Yeah, because like you said, imagine Sebastian being at home alone. He doesn't have someone to run this stuff by.
Exactly. And especially for a little boy who wants friends so badly, these people can make you think anything they want you to think. And then if you're, if you don't have much experience or you can't go to your parents and say, hey, this person's saying this, what do I say in response? Then, it could happen. I just really think, also, my husband, he reminds me of Chris, which don't come for me. But I think I'm not saying that, like, I completely agree with the guy, because ain't nobody going to put their hands on my kids, period. I think that's wrong. But I think maybe some people, like, just don't like how he comes off. And so maybe he means well, I don't know. But, and I really supported Seth at the beginning, but
How do you
just
feel
don't
about
like
that
him
now?
anymore.
Just too much.
No.
Too much BS.
Yes, he's extra. Like, I don't know if the attention is maybe
Gone to his head.
maybe he just didn't. Yeah, maybe he never got much attention before. I don't know, but he's doing way too much. He's being just extra, and I just don't have any. I don't know. I feel bad for him. You know, I know he loves his son, but I don't know. Just don't really like him. I don't really like how he's acting. And my kids, half of our kids live in Clarksville.
Oh, really?
So, yes. And if I saw him there, I'd tell him this. Like, I'd tell him that. You know, you're really. And I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm.
And you live
I
in?
don't know.
Do you
I've
live
heard
in
things
Tennessee now?
No, my kids live in Tennessee.
Oh, okay, got you.
Half of our kids. Well, they're my stepkids, but they're my kids. They live out there, and our grandkids.
Did they know Sebastian?
No. Nope. But when we first heard it, like, we were following it so close because they live there, you know, and we go to the Texas Roadhouse out there, you know, and the Costco, you know, we travel in between Clarksville and up in Kentucky where some other family lives. So, you know, we've been there to that area in Hendersonville, and it was crazy to think that he was just there and then he was gone. So we kind of had, I would say, a connection, but not really, just that they live there, you know. But
it hits close to home for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then now I'm in Oklahoma where Tony's from. So I've heard rumblings about him too, even just from people out here. The type of job my husband does, I've heard things. And so.
And he's been quiet. I mean, I haven't seen anything anyways lately.
He should. That's probably good.
Yeah, like it's about time. I mean, ever since he flashed his peen to the world.
Yeah.
He went and hid, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing that story, though. I think it's really important. You know, even if Sebastian didn't meet someone on a game, it definitely is something that we should be talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's at least just a possibility. And I'm probably, you know, giving that opinion just because of what I've seen. And my kids are homeschooled.
It happens every day.
Yes, they don't have a lot of real life friends being homeschooled, you know, besides who we meet up with in certain groups and stuff. But I definitely think their online friends, they're very important. Now, I monitor it, but I could see that so easily happening. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think that's a plausible theory as well. I just don't know why the parents would all lie about it. That's what's weird to me. Because, like, if your kid was playing games, right? Like, let's take your situation, right? And you caught your daughter doing whatever, and you were like, don't do that anymore, da-da-da. Well, she went on there anyway, and did it anyway, and then met someone, and then took off, and you can't find her. You're not going to tell the public or the media or the police that your daughter doesn't go online. Like, why would you do that?
That's true.
So why would,
I mean,
you know?
Truly, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find your kid, you're going to be like, oh my God, I caught her online doing this. It could have to do with, like, you're going to want to lead them to what it could possibly be, right?
For sure, you would want to explore every option. It's like they kind of shut that down right away,
but why?
That's weird, because if you don't really know, then how would you know that that's not a possibility, at least?
Yeah, it's just weird that they lied about that.
For sure.
Because why wouldn't, it's almost like they lied about it to not make them go down that route. But why wouldn't they want them to go down that route? That's where I get messed up about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like any route, every route, no matter what it is. They did shut that down really fast. It's strange.
And Seth really, his lies were the most strange to me, because Chris Proudfoot was like straight up, You know, we have restrictions. But
Yes, and no
Seth
rap music.
was like, he painted a whole picture. Oh, he can only go on my PlayStation in the living room. We sit in our recliners. I hear everything. He doesn't wear a headset. Then all of a sudden it goes to he's got a PlayStation 4 in his room. I got my 5 in the living room. He's home, 12 to 16 hours a night alone. He's got a phone. He's got a Switch. And all of this stuff is on Wi-Fi. So it's like.
Right. And it's like he was just getting so caught up in what he was saying and who he was talking to that he forgets that, well, wait a minute, didn't you say that, oh no, he would never, the only people he's talked to are my friends online.
Yeah.
Or, I was sitting right by him and it's like, no, I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. I really don't. Having kids, it's like they are going to do what, and it's, it's not their fault. I think
they're
going to
figure it out.
Like that. Yeah, they're going to figure out a way to do it anyway. So you might as well freaking accept that they're going to try to venture down that path and
have that open, open communication, like you said. I mean, it goes for anything, right? Sure. Sex, all the things that we have to deal with teenagers, drugs, sex, drinking, all of these horrible things. Just add, social media and video games to that list, I guess.
For sure. And I said in a comment yesterday, like when the games my kids play, the chat part of it is sometimes they'll just go in these games and sit and chat. Now they're friends with these people, like we know them from, in the neighborhood or something, but not always. And I'm not ever going to be stupid enough to think that they're only talking to people we know personally.
Right.
That's a big part of the game is chatting with people, and you're doing trades in game and you're doing this and that. And it's, that's just how it is. And I mean, I don't know how they could have prevented that, and I saw somebody in chat say that if that were to happen, but what, it's hard to know because they're not giving any updates at all. So, maybe they do know something, or somebody just like that car in the neighborhood, or, in the flashlights thing, maybe they do know something and they're trying to track somebody down. I don't know, but I do agree that there would be some trace of him leaving on his own, but since they're not giving any updates, we don't really know either way.
No. But that's definitely a plausible theory. I mean, it's just so weird because you'd think if that was the case, like the reason that I think one of the three, two of the three, or all three of those parents know is because they don't have any urgency to get him back. So it's like, if he was like, if he ran away because he just couldn't take it anymore, they'd still care. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be like this, I wouldn't think. And then, like, even if he, walked out in the woods because he wanted to unalive himself, they still have no urgency. And that's what's weird. So it makes me think, I mean, Seth has shown the most urgency out of them all just by, being present and showing himself and showing up to things.
Yeah, what's strange? I think about like other cases of, the normal ones, not like ones we've seen that are freaking crap shows, but normal parents, they have a missing child. And then think about some of the things that Seth has said, like personal stuff about Sebastian. I would probably freaking stay gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And I was hearing this, I'd be like, wow, that's freaking great.
Thanks, I
Dad,
totally
telling my business.
I agree with you. I wasn't even taking that into consideration, but yeah, you're right. I mean, basically he said that his stepdad called him a pedo.
Yeah.
Made him sound like he was a decrepit that only like pees and poops himself or whatever.
Yeah,
pees himself. Likes to. Oh yeah, he enjoys that, by the way. Just and then you hear these teachers. When I heard those teachers, I was just like, you wouldn't know he had any deficits? And we've got Katie saying, well, if you call his name, he'll look.
So strange. It actually is. Like, really, it is so strange. Everything that's happened, since the very day I first saw this on YouTube is literally nuts.
It is. It's absolutely nuts. Well, I thank you for calling in and sharing that information, because I think it's important for people to hear these kinds of stories and to pay attention. So thank you for being a good mama and paying attention to your kids.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I was so scared. I was shaking. I was like, oh, Lottie, I won't make a fool of myself.
Oh, not at all. No, you're awesome.
I appreciate you so much. I love your channel, and I love your cute laugh.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate you being, listening and your support, and I hope you'll call it again.
Of course. Thanks. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Have a good night.
You too.
All right,
bye.
bye. What a lovely caller. Don't ever shake. Call in, man. It's no big deal. She did wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for keeping your kids safe. So important this day and age. So important. 727-755-6001. Go ahead and give me a call. Let me know what's on your mind. What do you think happened to Sebastian? What do you think we should do from here? Where do you think we should go as people that are following this case? What do you think we should be talking about? Etc. Etc. There's that FARO system. I thank you. You know what? I have a really funny story. So today I was doing my like tags for my video, and I put in J is for Justice, and you know how sometimes it gives you like suggestions, and it said J is for Justice funny, and I thought, oh my God, somebody actually thinks I'm funny. So I went out and I said to my husband, I said, you can't ever tell me that I'm not funny, because I just did this and I got an AI like suggestion, J is for Justice funny, and I thought, hot damn, somebody thinks I'm funny.
Because we bought snacks because, he's 15 and snacks.
727-755-6001. Give me a call. Don't be scared. Let me know what's on your mind. Are there any cases you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want to? Next week, we're going to be talking about some other cases, I believe. Unless something breaks in this case, but maybe Seth lied in the beginning. He did say, I don't know about Katie's house. Sebastian wasn't allowed at their house to go online. He might have just wanted to sound like a better dad. I don't know. Right, Scout, exactly. If it feels like a hoax, it probably is. I don't know. I don't think they would continue searching and stuff if they thought it was a hoax. Well, I try to have fun, but I just thought that was pretty cool. I was like, you know what? It could be worse. It could say J is for Justice bitch. J is for Justice sucks. J is for Justice is an idiot. And I was like, oh, that ain't bad. Awesome. 727-755-6001. My phone line ain't ringing, and that's a problem, yo. Here we go. Problem solved.
Call from
Polly.
Hello, you are live on air with Jay. Who am I talking to?
Polly.
Is this Holly?
Polly with a P.
Oh, Polly want a cracker.
There you go.
Hello, Polly.
I say it a little different in my old age, but I don't know if I can say it on here or not.
Do it. What is it?
I said, Polly want a pecker.
Polly want a pecker?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love you already. What's up, Polly?
I changed it when I hit my late 40s.
Yeah, your filter kind of goes away then, doesn't it?
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question.
Sure.
I don't know if you can answer or not.
Sure.
The videos that we have, like with the ruckus and the lights.
Yeah.
Are those different time frames, or are they just clips from one long video?
I wish.
Or do they run together?
I wish I knew. I really don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. Like, I got those all three separate, and
Right.
you can see the date on the timestamp on the video says the 23rd. But we went over this in another video, and actually Potato saw that on the right-hand side, it was like there's a little calendar, and the 25th is lit up like red. Almost like they were reviewing that day. It was weird, almost like maybe they didn't set the time and the date on the camera, but that they
Right.
went back in that footage on that date. I'd have to find the video, but we did zoom in on it and find that, but I don't know.
You know, I've been watching all the stuff, and I think it was all planned. If you ask me,
Do you?
I think that I do. I think that Chris was there when they got back, or maybe he was there earlier in the day, but he didn't park at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think that the vehicle's there on the video that lights up, they say it might be the Bauer Sox. I think his mom gave him a ride over there or something, and then gave him a ride back to the construction site with Sebastian, and Chris took him back to Mississippi. That's why they couldn't find him.
Mm-hmm.
They can't find him. I think he's out somewhere else.
He's out of that radius, I think.
Yeah, because even with the scratches on the arm, I think like the Ruckus video, he was whipping his butt, and then on the right arm, all those scratches, it looks like he got bit. I think he choked him out.
Mm.
I know.
So you
say that.
no, I mean it is what it is.
He's the kid. He's somewhere, you know. It's not like if the parents didn't even look for him. It's not like he's gonna walk out of the house barefooted. I just don't know why LE doesn't do nothing. I guess they have to have more proof, or they have to have a body or something.
Yeah, I think they need to find him for sure.
Yeah, but even if they find him, Jay, are they going to be able to charge one of them with it? Are they going to have that proof that one of them did it, or you know what I mean?
Right. Or right, is it going to be so long that there's not going to be any evidence left to figure it out? Kind of like, I mean, obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, Kaylee, Anthony was a baby, right? She wasn't capable of taking care of herself, but they could say that Sebastian wandered off by himself because he wanted to get away from them. And yeah, it's awful. I mean, and to think, what really blows my mind is that they have made us feel and painted this picture of a 15-year-old with the mind of a 10-year-old who could be nonverbal at times. But then we hear his teacher say, if you saw him walking around, you wouldn't even know he had any deficits. What
No, exactly.
the heck?
I have a 15-year-old grandson that has autism. He's just as fine as everybody else. He might have his little quirks, but he doesn't throw fits and act like a strange person or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's different levels of it. I'm I know that, but he's just normal, but he has his little quirks, and you know what they are, and he's fine. We go out to eat. He's just like any other child, But I don't think Sebastian left the house barefooted. I just don't believe that. That's why I think that something bad happened in that house. And I think Katie took him out of there. Chris carried him out of there or something. That's why the flashlights, because it sure does look like Bauer Sox videos. Or vehicle, I'm sorry.
It's funny how their vehicles are so close to one another, too.
Yeah. Well, I think his mom gave that vehicle to Katie. I heard somewhere else. But I think that Chris and Katie both know what happened to that child, and I just hope they have to pay for it someday if something bad did happen.
Yeah,
the longer
me too.
it goes, I wonder if anybody will ever have to go to jail for this.
I know.
That's the sad part of this.
We want answers for sure, and a conclusion.
The longer it goes, Jay, we might not never know, honey.
I know. The longer it goes, the less of a chance of getting answers. But someone answered in the chat. It's a 34-second clip from that surveillance.
The whole thing with the lights and everything.
Yeah, that's one 34-second clip. But some of them are a little bit
that's what I was
shorter.
wondering,
But
the ruckus and the lights and the ruckus and the flashlights and all that. I wonder if that all happened at the same time.
Yes, I do believe that those were all happening at the same time.
Well,
but
that answers.
But I don't know for sure.
That answers some questions.
But I don't know for sure. I mean, at first, I was
me.
thinking maybe that, they were overlaid onto one. But why would they do that? Like, what would be the reason?
Well, not only that, Jay, we don't know how long that video is.
Exactly.
We're just getting 34 seconds. The cops could have hours of it.
Well, exactly. And they could actually, you know what? They could actually see the car that pulled up.
That's
what they're
what
doing.
Time the car pulled up.
Yep.
Yeah, with the lights off, sitting there waiting in the middle of the street. I do Uber Eats. I'm retired, but I do Uber Eats. I don't pull in the street. I pull in close to the house as I can get.
Yeah.
When you get in and out and stuff like that, there's no, you know what I mean? They're at the driveway, the one house taking the video, and the other one is grass, and then a back porch. They're not by nobody's house delivering food.
Right.
No. And another creator put the Bowersox vehicle in there, and it fits in there perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's just all too coincidental. I don't know. There's something not right there. But I don't think Sebastian's in Tennessee. I think he's somewhere else.
I tend to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I think that somehow they got him way far away from there. But I just hope they find the young man so everybody can be, have a little peace and know where he's at.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling in.
Thanks for talking to me, Jay. I appreciate it. First time I've called.
Well, thank you very
I got
much.
through, and I was happy about that.
Yeah, me too. So have a good night, and I
All right,
hope
you
you'll
have a
call
nice
in
night.
again.
All
right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 408 or 513. The line is back open for you. 727-755-6001. Sorry, I missed it. Potato, I think we already made a video with that timestamp thing. I'm going to have to go back through the playlist and see. It could have been Katie using his mom's car. Well, remember they had to go pick up the niece. So there was a lot of family time on Sunday. Do we know if flashlights and the car were at the same time? Why isn't this ringing? Oh, here we go. 513 calling back.
Call from
Women are.
Hello, you are live on air. Who am I talking to?
It's Women Are Sacred.
I thought maybe you were saying women are sacred. I hit the button too fast, but I didn't want to be wrong. So, hey, girl, thanks for calling in.
Hey, what's up? So I have a thought, and I am every single day, like everybody else, I go back and forth. Did this person do it? Did that person do it? What's up with these lights and this and that? But a thought came to me, and I know we've all, said, did he make it back from Texas Roadhouse? And was it him pushing the trash cans down the street and this and that? But a thought came to my brain, and I know I eat a lot of edibles. We all know that. But a thought came to my brain of, with the dogs, from the moment, and I don't want to have the lower level energy, negative thinking, but, from the moment of someone passing away, the dogs can, pick that up. They can, the different dogs, they can tell if you passed away or not,
Correct.
The different types of dogs.
Right.
And so, if they haven't had a dog pick up that scent, then it really makes me think, how could she have put him in the car and then took off in the morning? Because that's the only thing that makes sense, would be putting him in the car and taking off. If he couldn't have left the house, then that scent would have been in her car. And if it's not in her car, then did he really make it back from Texas Roadhouse? Was there a pass off of him earlier, in that evening or that night? Did he really come home at all? Because that scent would be in her car. And they've said over and over, they've searched that house, they've searched the vehicles, and there would be some sort of scent of death if he was in that car.
But don't you think at first, though, they were trying to track his scent, as in, like, get his scent and follow where he would have wandered off to? I don't think.
But they said there was no scent.
Right.
They didn't track it.
Right. But did they bring cadaver
and
dogs?
There's no scent of tracking him to the wherever, and there's no scent around the house, and there's no, like, death scent. That would definitely have been in the car. from the moment, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like
Unless,
if I pass away, there's
unless,
going to be a dog.
but
Yeah.
unless they were switcherooing the Infinity
The car.
SUVs.
Yes. Unless they had already did the switcheroos and she had already had the mother-in-law's car. And then she came back in the morning with her car.
So you're going off
That's
of
the
the
only
theory
that's the
that it
only
was planned then, that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that makes sense because they would have picked up, you know what I mean?
This is
And
why a
I
lot
hate
of
to
people
brag.
don't think he made it home from the roadhouse.
Right. If he didn't make it home, because
Kind of like when people say
that
they don't think
scent, there's
Summer made it
a
home.
difference in the scent.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a difference like in tracking somebody's like scent that's alive, and there's the cadaver scent, and you can't like fake that cadaver scent, you know. And now you could put on maybe somebody's shoes and tromp on over to the pond, but they say that, you talk to people that really know dogs, they don't just pick up the shoe scent. They pick up, your skin cells and your hair and everything else that you drop along the way. So, that part doesn't make sense
But the
to me.
dogs can
And
sometimes not get the scent too, because a really good example is in the Madeline Soto case. The dogs sniffed Stefan's car, and we know he had her strapped in, deceased, and they didn't pick up anything. They picked up.
They didn't?
No, the cadaver dogs did not pick up anything in his car, but they caught something on the wheel well of her mother's, which is wild to me. And I was
Which
like,
means
wow.
that he moved her body. He went back and moved her body then.
But she
At
was
the 3
straight
a.m.
in his front seat because he's on video with.
See, that's wild.
And the dog didn't pick up on it. So yeah, so it's, I guess we
So
have to think
another
about
thing
that
is-
too.
Another thing is,
Sure.
and like I'm not big. I don't hop around to too many creators.
Sure.
But another thing that I saw today, and I don't like to name drop other creators, but they had an aerial view of the Proudfoot's house. They had a drone, and when they dropped it down, when they were searching, they noticed that the actual light bulbs were missing by the garage. The ones that'll come on automatically. They were missing.
Yeah.
Today, someone drove by, took a picture. Those light bulbs are back in the thinger, back in the socket.
Which
So it's not like the light.
Light.
It's not like the light bulbs are just out, blown out. They were removed, girl. They were removed so they couldn't just come on. So that also makes
that
you
will scare
think that
somebody.
some shit was pre-planned.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what
that's,
I mean?
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's you know what I mean? I gotta chuck it in my, foul play bucket. You know what I mean? Because there's so many things that lead you in one direction and make you think it's this way, and then and then somebody pops off with another photo or footage from week 1 or 2 or 3, and you're like, damn, well, it wasn't like that then, and now all of a sudden there's light bulbs up in there.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wild.
So it's like, so then you're like, okay, well, team foul play, so
Red flag.
But which one of them did it? They're all culpable in my opinion. They all seem very sketchy, and it's like you're so back and forth with it. You can't damn sleep. You can't, you know what I mean? You every one of us, like every day, and it's like, I know you'd ask the question, like, what would, you know what I mean? What I think is helping is that everybody, this is slowly dying down. You know what I mean? And that's sad in a way because of like all the drama and shit that was brought. But maybe some answers will come up when people stop getting so much attention and, peens stop getting dropped out on the screen and stuff like
Oh,
that. You know what I
God.
mean? Like,
Yes, Wienergate.
maybe, and I'll tell you what, if Seth does not fire or remove this guy from his life that straight dropped a peen on his little boy's picture live, like, I'm telling you what, you would have to hold me down to keep me from that man. You know what I mean? Think about it, if that was your child or your grandchild missing and someone, whether it was by accident, you had to pee or whatever, have some respect.
Yeah.
Say, hold on, leave your camera so you can go pee or whatever you're doing with those
Exactly.
young girls on the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Like, have some respect. Like, you don't sit there and mute it and go take a dump or,
Right.
or not even mute it.
I mean,
you know
Don
what I'm
Wells
saying?
got
Like,
on the pot. He didn't flash us, thank
yeah,
God.
he did.
Yeah,
he did, and that's what you'd expect from Don
Yeah,
Wells.
yeah,
You
you
know
would.
what I mean? Like,
You-
you would expect him to drop a deuce right there, but like, you know what I mean? But I guess it's all in the same there. I don't know what's going on.
mm-hmm.
Everybody's drinking Mountain Dew and pissing everywhere, and I don't know what to think here anymore. But
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
I don't know what. I don't think it's the water. It's the Mountain Dew or something. I don't know, but something's going on.
Something
and
ain't right.
Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it, even in the polls that you take, and everybody. How much percentage now thinks it's foul play?
87.
You know what I mean?
87%.
How come the world sees it? And you know what? Guess what? These cops see it too, because it turned to an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
After 2,000, they did 2,000, hours, and there are. Look, we all know there are still people out there searching. There are feds all over the place. There's feds up in your chat. They're everywhere.
They are.
They are collecting intel.
I'm gonna get
And I'm
drunk
telling you, Homeland
and ride
Security's
my
come in.
horse.
My neighbor had a little girl that was on the internet.
Oh, no,
and
not another one.
Homeland Security contacted her mother.
Oh, my God.
And said, listen, we have a predator that has contacted your daughter and has been speaking with her, and she knew nothing about it.
You're kidding.
She had all the settings. No, she had all the settings and the parental controls, but that guy somehow got between the cracks. They know what they're doing. And she thought she was speaking to another little kid, and she had given the damn address and said what school she goes to and everything else. So Homeland Security had to come to the house. They had like scoped it out and everything up, and they set up a trap, and they ended up catching this guy. But when they said Homeland Security, that made me think that maybe they seen something online or something like that. That's why they stepped in. I don't know. But that happened with my neighbor's little girl, who is 11 years old. And they set up a trap. You know what I mean? And they caught this guy, like to catch a predator or some crap like that. But yeah, they contacted the family and said, look, you were on a high, we got people watching, just so you know. And, they had to like extra watch their daughter, and at the bus stop, they drove her there. They didn't let her walk,
Wow.
They had to step it up. And
How
they ended up
scary, but
catching this
like
guy.
at least they had a heads up about it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That's
I was
terrifying.
hoping that, yeah, but I mean, this stuff happens. And so I was thinking maybe they had some kind of heads up, and that's why they brought in Homeland Security. But that makes me think that he was on the internet or something, because why'd they bring him in like that?
Well,
Maybe they have evidence that he was on the internet.
it's
Then also,
interesting
I think
because
Katie did it, in my opinion.
you think Katie did it? Well, I just pulled up the DHS Homeland Security Child Exploitation and Abuse. This just came out April 17th. And it says that as part of the department's ongoing work on this mission, DHS is announcing No to Protect, the U.S. government's first prevention and awareness campaign to combat online child sexual exploitation and abuse. So between October, this tells everything they did. DHS works with domestic and international partners to enforce and uphold the laws that protect children from abuse. So it says they work collaboratively with the Department of Justice, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, Interpol, Europol, and international law enforcement partners to arrest and prosecute perpetrators. That is interesting. I thought that they were involved because of the missing child, but
Yeah. See, and it's like,
that's the
when
FBI.
Homeland Security come knocking on my neighbor's door, I'm like, I knew you was a terrorist. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. And then, and then they're like, no, this is what happened, and but, and I'm joking about that. I didn't think they were a terrorist. But, I mean, it was just, I had no idea. And, as far as like the Madeline Soto case, like I can only take that in very, very small doses because of my background.
It's a tough one.
I was actually trafficked when I was a child by a family member. So cases like that and like Summer Wells, I can only do like bits and pieces when people start talking about, you know what I mean, the in-depth and detailed things. I got to get out, that's for my own mental health. And my family member, he ended up dying in prison. He spent 30 years there, and that's fine. I'm an adult, I'm a survivor, I'm a warrior, I'm not a victim, all of that. But there's some things that, like that, like about the car and the scent. I didn't know about that because I can only, get the main bare minimal, and then I got to get out.
Sure.
When it's something, I can't, you got to know when to fold them. You got to get out when you can't handle, something. It'll affect you, and props to you because, even if you haven't experienced that in your life, like the things that the research and the mental stuff that you go through to get all the information on these cases, that's got to affect you tremendously.
Yeah, you definitely have to take breaks.
Yeah. So, even just with my history, I got to take breaks in certain cases I can't follow, but I don't believe there's anything like that here at all with Sebastian, as far as like, mama sold him or anything like that. My heart does go out to Katie for her past, and I don't like that that's been thrown up. That's incredibly traumatic. We don't, that stuff, I mean, regardless, like that doesn't need to anybody's past, like what she's been through, that don't need to be thrown up in her face. And I'm not trauma bonding with her right now or anything, because I still think she's guilty as hell. But
no,
I
mean,
think
there's nothing
that,
wrong with having empathy for someone's horrible upbringing
yeah.
that wasn't, in their control.
Yeah, and I also truly believe that she didn't have the mother-son, the bond with her child, probably due to a lot of her childhood trauma. If you want to get into the psyche of it all, I mean, me and my children are very close and all of that, but it can go the other way. You may not be able to, and just like, I would never hurt another child because of what happened to me. It can go the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can carry on. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
mean, that goes for
So,
anything. It goes for alcoholism. Same thing.
right,
You grow up
right.
with an alcoholic, you can make that conscious decision not to,
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
fall
as
to that.
much as I'd love to say, oh, she would never hurt her baby child because of what she's been through, yeah, I can't say that because she's displaying signs otherwise. And, I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 people right there in the chat saying I'd be out there looking for my child, and just a lot of things are off. And the police see that and they know that. And a lot of things that we're talking about, they're like, we know, we've been looking into that, So I do believe, and it does piss me off when, I hear people say, oh, well, the police dropped the ball on this one. The amount of agencies and people and police and stuff, all of this, a lot of people were focused on Maddie during this happened the same day. We didn't get to see really the beginning of this and how it all went down because we were all focused watching what was happening with Maddie, and then the Riley thing happened. So we didn't jump in on this case or hear much about it until later on. You know what I mean? A lot of us didn't hear about it, and a lot of us heard about it from Trevor Lee. You know what I mean? And if you weren't friends or following Trevor Lee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't hearing about it, because it hadn't blown up yet. And by the time it blown up, then we're seeing Seth look, and that's like a month or two later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people weren't seeing what the cops and all the agencies were doing in the beginning, and they worked their asses off, and trust me, they still are.
I
They
agree.
still
I
are.
agree with you.
So,
I agree with you.
yeah.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for calling in. I appreciate you. Lots
yeah,
of good
man,
thoughts.
I'm awake and alert, and I'm gonna eat some edibles now that I made the call. So,
Well,
I love you so much, and I appreciate you.
I
I'm
appreciate
going
you
through some
too.
rough shit right now, and you're helping me so much. You don't even know it.
Aw. Well, I
And
appreciate you.
I love all the mods and all the people.
Aw.
And
Shout out to all
I
of you
just
in
love
chat.
y'all. Yeah, my homies. All right.
All right. Thanks,
I love
hon.
you guys.
I love you too. Have a good day. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay. Bye. Enjoy those edibles.
From Mermaid.
Hello, Mermaid. You are live on the air with Jay. Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Hi. Who am I talking to?
Mermaid.
Well, hello, Mermaid. What's on your mind tonight?
I am so glad to have somebody to discuss this case with. I don't have any friends that are true crime crazy like I am.
Yeah, sure.
And I have had nobody to discuss my ideas with. So I'm so glad that
Well,
you answered.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Bring it on. Okay, first off, has anybody ever asked Chris if he heard Katie ask Sebastian, what's going on in there? Or did you fall out of bed? Or are you okay? I have not heard anybody ask Chris or him mention that he heard that interaction because he was supposedly on the phone with her.
Good question. I have never heard anyone ask him that either.
And that was supposedly in that time period. So he should have heard it if that actually happened.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, even if he didn't,
that has always been a question.
I mean, even if he didn't hear it, you think if she did, she would have been like, oh, said something like, oh, what the fuck is he doing in there? Or, made some kind of mention of it.
Or I can't believe he's not asleep yet. I told him an hour and a half ago to go to bed. And after what I've done for him today, I can't believe he's not asleep. That just has always bugged me. He should have been able to verify that, especially since he seems to always have her back on everything else. He would have been piping up in all of these interviews to say, yep, I heard her. I heard him in the background. He sure did.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard nothing about that.
Nothing. You're right. Nothing. And it wasn't mentioned the first time. The first interview, she didn't say anything about the thud. So a lot of people think that the thud was thrown in there as like just an added thing.
An added detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tried to explain that as he wasn't sure if law enforcement wanted them to mention that. You don't know what we're allowed to say. No, that doesn't wash either. That just doesn't wash. I think Seth is just a big dummy. I think he likes the attention. I think he doesn't know how to handle the limelight. I don't think he knows how to handle money, for sure. I think anytime a woman pays attention to him, he obviously thinks it's more than it is. But I don't think he had anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. I think Katie had a lot to do with it, and I like the caller who said for sure a cadaver dog would have picked up that scent in her vehicle. So either one, he was not unalived in the vehicle, maybe he was drugged, maybe he was tied up, incapacitated, and in the car. But if he had been unalived in a vehicle they checked for that long, a dog would have picked it up. So it's either a switcheroo or he was not that far gone in that car. But and of course there are different kind of dogs. There are dogs that are tracker dogs, and there are dogs that are cadaver dogs.
Right.
So depending on what they were trying to find in the vehicle is whether or not the dog would have picked up on it. And at that time, they were just looking for a runaway. So the dog that checked it might not have been a cadaver dog.
Well, I remember Chris Proudfoot stating that there were scent dogs and there were cadaver dogs. He said that the scent dog is the one that went to the retention pond. And then when he was asked where the cadaver dogs went, he said they just kind of roamed around outside of the yard. Not those exact words, but that's what he alluded to, that those cadaver dogs kind of just didn't really go anywhere specific. So he didn't give a whole lot of info on that, but he wanted us to think that they tracked Sebastian's scent to the retention pond. But then we have law enforcement saying there was no scent. I'm really confused. So I don't know if it's a tactic, if they're telling Chris there was a scent, because why would he insist that there was?
I think that that's just bull on Chris's part, honestly. And I think that when he left, he didn't have shoes on. That's why they are making such a big, huge deal about him leaving without his shoes. And they are lucky that they remembered his glasses. This is so sad. This is so, so very sad. I know at the very beginning, my first thought was if he has issues and they're afraid that he's going to SA another child, what if they took him to one of those camps where they want to change your ideas and they have him hidden somewhere thinking they can pray that out of him?
But if that was the case, like why that's not illegal to send your kid to like a camp or to like a school.
No.
So why wouldn't they just say that?
It isn't.
So why would they put a missing persons report out there,
Because I think they know that Seth would absolutely not go for that. But Katie is the main custodial parent at the moment. She would be able to check him into any kind of clinic or any kind of camp on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as far as HIPAA goes, if she checked him in, if somebody tried to call and ask if he was there, they wouldn't get any information. They wouldn't even get confirmation.
The
or
FBI
any
would,
kind
though.
If he was there.
The FBI definitely would.
You're right. The FBI.
I feel like if
would be
that was
able
the
to find
case,
that
they
out.
would have figured that out by now. I mean, it's wishful thinking, and I get it, but I just think it's been so long that they would have.
If it was a started to say a cultish type thing, though.
Where it's not on the
church
up and
run
up.
thing?
Yeah, like a not.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. I just, that was my first thought, was they're going to try to get this proclivity out of his system. But I don't know. I'm totally shocked that Faith is there for the summer. I would have thought that a disappearing child would have wiped away any chance he had of getting her for the summer.
Yeah. Kind of makes me look at things a little differently.
Shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked. Well, I know you have other callers.
No, I thank you.
so
No, I
much for
thank you for
giving
calling
me
in.
a voice.
Oh, anytime. I think you had wonderful
And you-
thoughts. Thank you for sharing them.
You have a great evening.
You too. Call in
All right,
anytime.
bye-bye. Okay.
All right. Bye, mermaid.
Bye.
We love a mermaid around here.
Everybody does that. It's okay.
I'm ready for the truth, says Retha. Oh, yeah, aren't we all? The dog went to the retention pond. It was on the dispatch call. I can't explain it. Thank you so much, Island. Island says, I'm thinking he got into the vehicle that turned its lights on after the ruckus. Is he okay or not okay when he gets in that vehicle? Cannon wants to know, does anyone believe any of the parents have been interrogated the way you would interrogate a real suspect? Interesting question.
Call from Petra.
Hey, Petra, you are live on air with Jay. What's on your mind?
Hi, I just wanted to say I can't remember how to pinpoint the interview, but I'm sorry about the dog.
That's okay.
The interview,
You're
but
awesome.
Katie was answering a question, and she stated mistakenly and caught herself. She was saying when she went to the school that he was already, and then he kind of stopped her, and Chris did, by coughing or something. Does that sound familiar to you?
I remember that. Yep. She said, and he was already, and then she stops, and then she starts talking about running
Yes,
back to the house or
I
something.
still think that is something so important, but I don't know what it is. But I just wanted to remind everyone that that's a key, too. I think that I wish someone could figure out. And the second thing I just wanted to say that it's so sad that the teachers spoke so highly and lovingly of the child, but not one Proudfoot did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. And I thank you for your show.
Well, I thank you for calling in, ma'am. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. I love watching it. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
Okay. You too. Bye.
All right, bye. Y'all, I have the best callers. I mean, do I not? You guys are so smart. You are so well thought out. You are so respectful. Jay is for Justice. Wonderful Wednesday has been a success since we started this. Give me a call, 727-755-6001. Phone lines are open, 408. You've been trying to get through. The phone line's open for you right meow. You've tried 6 times. 8 times. 408. Come on. The line is open for you. 727-755-6001. $408. Why didn't it ring? What's going on here? $408. I'm going to call you. I don't know why it's not ringing. Let's call 408 back. They've been trying. We'll call them. Don't call me. I'll call you.
Please leave your message for 4.
Hey, 408, I'll call you because it's not ringing on my end. And I don't know why. 408, if you're listening, let me call you.
Please leave your message for
408. It's not ringing on my end. I can see you calling, but it's not ringing. So let me call you. You ready? 1, 2. There it is. There's 408. God almighty.
From
Shelly.
Shelly, we connect. You are live
Hey,
on air
Jay.
with Jenny. What's up?
Right on. This is the first time ever.
Well, yay, I'm fine. I'm glad you finally got through. Thank you for trying so hard.
Thank you. You know, Jay, this case sucks, okay?
Yeah, it does.
I worked with autistic kids for 7 years, highly, on a high spectrum. They are the most loving kids ever, and they love you unconditionally. I truly do not believe he left the house. They have their quirks, but they're just beautiful human beings, and it just breaks my heart that these parents are just so dysfunctional and so unloving. It breaks my heart. I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything, but it's really sad.
It is. It's extremely sad. It's very unfortunate. And, it's like we all seem to care more. I'm not going to. Oops. I didn't mean to play that. We're not, we seem to care more than, they do. And the teachers, told us in a 2-minute clip more about Sebastian than we've heard in 3 months. That was positive.
Right. And I was a special education aide with the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And they took college classes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They would talk over our heads. It's like, what? They were so smart. Actually, like in one particular subject, they are like engineers.
Yeah, like Sebastian could play chess. Like, I don't even know how to play chess. Like,
I don't. And even in art, whatever they were good at, they were the best at.
Mm-hmm.
And they never disrespected me. They were always like, even if I go visit, I used to work in a college with them, and if I go visit the class, they always, Shelly, and they give me a hug.
Aw.
They're just so loving.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them have space issues where they don't like to be affectionate, but they learn how.
Right.
I mean, I'm just so distraught over this case. It's just so much drama. It's not about Sebastian. It's about those stupid parents. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they've gone quiet lately. But you know what?
But
so is Sebastian's case. So it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Right. Well, I feel for Sebastian. Wherever he is, even if he has passed, he's at peace. He doesn't deserve this kind of life. He does not.
And who's going to want to come back to that after what, his father said about him?
It doesn't matter if he's autistic or not. He's a child. He's a human being.
Right.
They're the parents.
Well, and I feel like, too, that they're kind of, like overplaying the autism. I think this is more about abuse than autism.
Yes, they're the ones with the problem, not Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian is an innocent child. And you know what? You cracked me up otherwise.
Well, thank you.
Your laugh, and you know what? You say it like it is, and I just appreciate your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah, and I know you're all the way in Florida. I'm in California.
Oh, wow.
And
You're way on the other
yeah,
side from me.
well, originally I'm from Hawaii.
Oh,
so,
nice. Nice.
Yeah, I haven't been to Florida in a long time, but it's hot as hell over there.
Yes, especially lately. It's been very hot. But you sound
Yeah.
lovely, and I'm so glad that you called
Thank you.
in.
You too.
Yeah.
You too. I appreciate it, and thank you for letting me talk.
Absolutely. Anytime. Enjoy the rest of your night.
And I'm watching your channel, so thank you.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
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 Bye, hon.
Bye.
What a sweetheart. We have the best callers, I'm telling you. I cannot get over it. I told him to go to bed, and he did. Aw, thanks, Damon Lee. I appreciate you guys, too. Calm before the storm. I know it's been awfully quiet. It's like crickets out there. It's like the Twilight Zone. Yeah. If you say his name, he'll look. If you call his name, he'll look. If he's not being verbal at the moment. You know, he's 15 and snacks. It's all red flags. 727-755-6001. Let's take some more calls tonight.
Because we bought snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks.
Cookie. Bad, and he did. I like I've never been to Hawaii. What would Katie have done with him after the Roadhouse? That's what I don't understand. I don't either, always late. I don't understand any of it. None of it makes sense. Let's take a couple more of your calls. 727-755-6001. We are live from Studio J in Clearwater, Florida tonight.
Call from
Carol. Carol Bow Barrel. Can you turn down your YouTube?
Yep. I'm trying.
You're good. Take your time, babe.
Okay, there it is. I think Katie was done with Sebastian a long time ago.
You do? Why do you think that?
It's just her. When her and Seth were first married, she went off to the Navy. She didn't have him for all that time in the Navy. And she was deployed overseas. And she lost interest in the child, but then she was more or less, with the divorce, she was forced to take care of him after the divorce. And she always blamed Seth for that. That's why she did it on her anniversary.
You think she gave Seth that much thought?
Oh, yeah, I think she was still in love with Seth. Just like Seth is still in love with her.
Katie?
Yep.
Why do you think that?
The way he reminisces, when he reminisced in the past videos and almost started to cry.
I think he's in love with her, but I don't know about her.
I don't know. Maybe she's not. I don't know. But it must be hell living with Proudfoot.
Yeah.
I mean, with him yelling and constantly stomping and strutting his stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be jumpy as all hell.
Yeah, it's triggering for sure.
I mean, it would be like a trigger for me because I was in the military myself, and certain noises trigger me. And him thumping his fist on the table or throwing a hissy fit in the middle of not even provoked, that would make people nervous.
Yeah, I mean,
and with his ultimatums and stuff, I could see him telling you it's either him or me.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And I think that she got mad at him for some reason. He broke something, or he wasn't listening to her. He sassed his mouth. Kids do that. They get sassy.
Mm-hmm.
And she just turned around and backhanded him in the mouth. And he probably reached back or fell back on the headboard and hit his head, and then she called Chris and had him clean it up.
So you think Chris came home? He wasn't home?
I think he was at the trailer at his mom's. Either at the trailer or at his mom's. Because I think CPS told him not to live there while Sebastian was being investigated for his
You think
comment
that's why he was
that
gone?
made. Yep.
Interesting. Well, thank you for calling in tonight and giving your theory.
And I also think that he may be in the Mississippi River or Yogi Bear Campground or I-55 corridor.
Why?
In Mississippi.
Oh, what's the I-55 corridor?
It's from Memphis all the way to Jackson. People are dropping bodies left and right down there.
Jesus. Have they found other bodies?
They found one guy was out looking for metal and found somebody.
Damn.
I've been waiting for him to identify him or them, but there was another one that was found in a pond or under the underpass. Never heard nothing about that.
Yeah, there's a few we're waiting on, huh?
Yeah. And that 15-year-old that's between Memphis and Hendersonville, that one's really got me thinking. I know they say it's a 16-year-old girl, but I don't believe that.
The one at the cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that they said they already spoke to the family.
Oh, maybe they did. I missed it.
Yeah, it was just a brief update.
But he liked to ride on boats down by the, on the, and he liked to ride on boats. He didn't like putting his feet in the water in the Mississippi or anything like that. But there were things to do down by the Mississippi River that Chris could have taken him on one of those boats down the river and put him on an island.
But wouldn't somebody have had to take him?
Chris.
But he doesn't have a boat.
No, but they can rent a boat down there on the river.
I feel like they would have figured that out, right? Like
it's a wooden boat, a little small wooden boat for kids. It's the size for a kid.
Have you seen these boats?
I've seen them on TV. I like watching the RV community, and they have wherever they go, they have they tape where they're visiting.
Sure.
And a lot of people go to Mississippi and ride the Mississippi River on the boats. And kayak and tube and. So.
Well,
But anyway, those are my thoughts. It's just my opinion.
I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and calling in.
Because it's been bugging me, and this case has been keeping me awake worse than the Garbage Potato case. I thought Brian Laundrie, oh man, I wanted to choke him.
Oh, same. That was horrible.
And Roberta Laundrie, I'd like to slap her in the face.
Yes, for sure.
But
these mommies.
What is wrong with her? What are wrong with these women?
I don't know.
They're just, if you're sick of your kids, put them up for adoption.
Yeah.
Give them to somebody that will love them.
It's very strange.
It's just.
All right, honey. Well, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, and thank you for doing such a good job.
Aw.
I watch you almost every night.
Well, thank
I
you.
try to anyway.
I appreciate you.
So, and I hope that we find Sebastian soon. I'm hoping Terry Lynn will find him.
I'm hoping somebody finds him and fast.
Yeah, because he's going to be I think they may have put him in a hockey bag.
A what?
A hockey bag. You know how they haul your hockey sticks in? The bag that they put the hockey sticks in?
Sure.
He might be in a hockey bag or a trash bag.
Okay, well, thank you for your thoughts. I mean, those are definitely things to think about.
Yeah, it's possibilities. I'm not saying it has happened.
For
but,
sure. Speculation
you
only.
know, that's right.
All right.
So, thank you, Jay.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, hon. What a wonderful caller. Thank you for all of your thoughts. Everybody's entitled to their thoughts and opinions here at Jay is for Justice. 727-755-6001, 404. Call me back. I see I missed you a couple times. Freezer Burnt is the patron saint of all theories. 404 coming in hot.
Call from
Susanna from.
Susanna, you are live on air with Jay. What's on your mind?
Hi, Jay. Well, first, I did leave a message, so disregard that. But I was calling because I'm still wondering about the whole Michaela and 12K mortgage.
I'm sexy and
I'm
I know
just
it.
curious if anybody's tried to debunk that because, like, isn't she with T-Rev? Has he said anything? I'm
You know
still
what?
wondering- I have not heard a thing.
I'll
Just
be honest.
curious.
I'll be honest. I saw that she paid a bill in April. It's been speculated that possibly Seth gave her money, but I don't think I don't think anybody knows anything. I think everything is purely speculation at this point.
So Seth is very silent ever since the Wiener Gate.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The peen made everyone just shut their mouths quick.
Got it. I got it. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
for the love. You didn't know what you were getting into tonight, did you? You just didn't know.
No. I'm so curious about that because I'm surprised that T-Rev hasn't said anything yet.
Yeah, he's kind of just keeping it moving, I think. I think he's just like, all right, I'm just going to keep shit moving. Which is really all you can do at this point. I mean, it's craziness.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the talk of the guns. That was concerning.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, I would have backed up too. You know what I mean?
Well, the guns I wasn't too concerned about. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, if he's legally able to buy guns, I mean.
Right, but
I don't
Seth
know, maybe-
wanted him to buy one for him, which I thought was odd.
Yeah. Yeah, that's odd. But
That's kind of a
it's more
felony.
odd about the penis, though.
Oh.
Or, I'm sorry. It's more
Yeah.
odd about the Wiener Gate.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Tony got looked into because of that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like his account would
He's
still be
been
there.
silent since then. Since I guess that the very following night he said something. I haven't heard anything else. So, man, poor Sebastian. Like nobody's talking about him. Like this is really cold. That's what it feels like.
It feels that way, yeah. I don't think it is, though. I think I'm still holding out hope that, the fact that they still have his electronics and things, that they're doing some, what was really weird. I don't know if you followed the Madeline Soto case or not.
I did.
But I had something pop into my head today when I was watching Nancy Grace. And it was weird because she was talking about, the afternoon when Stefan went and he was like dumping her and then he got the flat tire and all of that stuff. And I was thinking in my head, wow, like during that time when Stefan was doing all of that, somebody could have been doing the same thing with Sebastian.
Well, it's true, and I still question Katie leaving that day to go so and so search. That would have been the time that she would have dumped him. I would have assumed, when she woke up and called the police, like if there was nothing about her car leaving before then she would have, because supposedly they saw him on camera. I don't know if that's true. I mean, this is just crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just reading some of the comments they were saying about it being radio silent. They were saying ever since the peen. And then they said, T-Niece said, that's what happens when you send out cease and desist letters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good point,
yeah.
right?
And Terry Lynn is this. Yeah. And Terry Lynn's out there still, right?
As far as I know, yeah. She's still out there going hard.
Well, I give her a lot of props right there. I mean, Seth ain't out there.
Ain't seen him.
And I was all on his team, and it just seems so weird because he's not out there, and I'm just a normal person, and I felt for him, but now I don't feel for him because he isn't like what he was before.
Yeah. Well, I think you just saw his true colors.
And that's sad.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, if you go back in the Summer Wells case, right? I was like the first one to call Dawn after she went missing, and we spoke on the phone before the boys were taken by CPS and all of that. And oh my God, I had no idea who I was calling. Like I literally looked up his number. I heard about the case, called him because I wanted to see if he wanted to, come on the show and raise awareness. And he was like, yeah, sure. He just answered and he talked to me and it went from there. But I had no idea who I was talking to. I didn't know at the time his past and all of their garbage. And when I spoke to him, it was just like, just getting the facts, like what's going on, what happened, da 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 da. And then slowly over time, here, their true colors started coming out. They're drunk on panel. They're getting, pulled over. They're, looking drugged out. And then they start getting angry and lashing out. And it's like, I think especially when people are under so much stress, whether they're trying to hide something or they're going through something, they're going to snap that much quicker, So, but it was crazy because when I first talked to him, he wasn't rude to me. He was just a normal dad that I was just talking to about a missing girl. And then, God, what that snowballed into, for the love.
Yeah. How can these people or how can these kids disappear without a trace? I can't see that. Not with technology.
Whole ass people.
How is that possible?
Right. Whole ass people just disappearing. I don't get it. I don't know.
I mean, is there really something to do with the aliens? We had those balloons come through.
Fuck,
I mean, this is weird.
But it's really wild because you have cases of, kids that have been missing for 30 years and they've never been found. It's like, what the fuck? It's just, It's so weird to me, how whole ass adults too disappear.
With DNA, yeah. With DNA though, the DNA now, especially with the, like the Colbert case, but I mean, now things are coming light because, I did do ancestry because I ended up having a sister that I didn't know of.
Oh wow.
And that's coming, to play for everybody. A lot of people, especially their parents who back in the 60s, 70s, you got relatives that you didn't know about. But I'm saying now they're able to track people, killers and all that. Which is crazy. I mean, that's great.
But it's crazy,
I still don't understand how people in 2024 can just disappear out of the house.
I don't understand it either. I really don't. Especially and I guess we have to think common sense wise because did Sebastian really disappear? Or is it that he didn't walk away at all? That
Right.
You know?
Well, you and I don't know who he is. We don't know how he is. I mean, I have a nephew who's autistic, but he's very functioning. So, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell because we're only hearing what the parents are saying, and then I guess the teacher, which is great. I mean, other people can give us better insight, but like we really truly don't know because we haven't ever interacted with this child.
Exactly. No, it's nuts.
Well, thank you for having me on board.
I
but
loved having you on. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate it. I'm still very curious to hear about the 12K.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get
and
confirmation on that unless.
I mean, I could see Seth getting duped.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But I don't know this Michaela, so I don't want to say she would actually do that because I don't know her.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know her either.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Because that would bother me if I had people saying that. I don't know her, so I can't say that.
I just hate how money is and
I do
the root
too.
of everything.
I do too. And that's what caused a
So-
rift between Katie and Chris and Seth in the beginning was this GoFundMe that
Yes.
they decided we're not going to do money, and then Seth's sister starts a GoFundMe, and then there they part ways.
Right. And that's sad because they all needed to be together to be the army, not to have this Tony dude be the army. Like they need to be the army of finding Sebastian. And so it just, there's a rift and there's a rift everywhere. And so that when you don't have teamwork, it's not going to work.
Right. And Tony kind of became just the flasher of the case. So
Yeah.
what a disgrace,
Well,
for real.
Sounds more like he's the money grabber.
Mm.
So,
There's a lot of butt joints.
he can stay in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I hear you. Stay in Okie,
All right,
Tony.
well, thank you.
Teeny tiny. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night,
Yes.
hon.
It was very Lent. All right.
Oh my God. Good night.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. Teeny tiny. Eeny weeny, teeny weeny. Unbelievable. 727-755-6001. The lines are back open. Here it is. I was looking for this. 727-755-6001. Tony, that was for you. Bella says she can't hardly hear the callers. Are the callers low? I wonder if the neighbor who lives behind has any footage. I think that the cops have a lot of footage that we probably don't know about. Sarah says 87% say foul play. Wait, where'd your comment go? But somebody wanted me to play this part again about the shoes. Listen. On any ring or trail cameras, by witnesses or tracking dogs. Officials were hesitant to talk about his shoes. What I can say is his mom says all his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot, Craddock said. So Eric Craddock says, I'm not going to say that he's barefoot. So what does that mean? If he's not going to say that that he's barefoot, does he think he was in socks? Then we had the whole socks conversation. Thoughts on a possible grand jury investigating currently? Possibly. Charlie, I'm glad you could make a live too. Welcome, welcome. We're going to take a couple more of your calls, guys. Oh, sorry, the phone lines were closed. 254, try to call me again. 254. Phone lines are now officially open. I had them on pause. Sorry. 727-755-6001. 2,300 kids go missing every day in America. Wow. What's up, little Boston? How are you? Allegedly, what's up, Brittany J? How are you doing? SQ, good to see you. When Jay does this, well, that's what he says. I am not going to say he was barefoot. 254 coming in hot.
From
Kimberly.
Yo, Kimberly, you're live on the air with Jay. What's on your mind?
So, what I wanted to talk about was the whole shoes thing.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, I feel like they're pushing the no shoes so they got the at risk level higher so that, like an Amber Alert and like a higher alert can be put out. Same thing with the autism. I know he has autism and he has like an Asperger's type autism, which in the beginning they tried to, downplay his capabilities. And then now it's coming out that he was very functional.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was another thing that they pushed that to be able to get, more agencies' involvement and to show like, oh, he wouldn't have run away. Because a child that's not autistic, a child wearing shoes, and a child that plays online and talks to people at 15 would only be a runaway. They would get zero attention. They wouldn't really search for the child. They'd be classified as a runaway.
Correct. You're right.
So I really feel like the reason, oh no, he's not online, they had to push that because law enforcement wouldn't have helped him as much as they are to find their kid. I really think he left on his own.
But do you think they want that? Because they seemed pretty shocked. Like, Katie said, they came in rapid fire. And then, Chris was like, I never imagined the magnitude. Did they think that only making the little call to the sheriff's department, behind not going through dispatch would just send one, deputy over and be like, well, I don't see him around here. He's 15. Let's wait till he gets, see if he comes home after school. You know what I mean?
No, because I really think that they wanted the help and they wanted the federal level of help. That's why they did what they did, because they could have very easily been like, oh, my 15-year-old son took off. He took off. He left. They could have done that, and he would just be a runaway. And like the thousands of runaways that are out there, they could have so easily just said, my son ran away. I can't find him. I woke up and he's gone. Yeah, he plays online with his friends. He could just be a runaway. He's 15. At 15, I pretty much was already grown. I did my own thing at 15. I had friends that were emancipated and drove already at 15. Like at 15 years old, there are a lot of places you're already grown.
I know, but if maybe I'm missing something, but if that were the case, wouldn't that mean that they want him found? So you don't think that they had anything to do with it?
I think they want him found. I think they wanted to control their child using the law enforcement, and they were trying to get him found and get him found quickly. But now now I'm unsure, because it could even be the fact that they know where he is, and now they don't want the family, whoever has him, in trouble. So now they're trying to downplay it. But almost like that, the Rudy, was it Frios in
the
Houston area?
Yes.
Where, as soon as the attention got off of him being missing, he snuck back and got back in the house. I'm thinking they were hoping for something like that. Now, they got so much attention. I think they wanted 100% of law enforcement attention and that to be brought out. I don't think they wanted media attention like they got. getting the police to help you do what you want to control your kid is completely different than getting the spotlight put on your family through media. And I think that's the difference. That's why they haven't really wanted to come out into media, except for when they were kind of forced to, because they're kind of were forced out to speak.
So what do you think? What's your theory? What do you think happened?
Well, okay, these are the facts that we know that both sides of the families have said. He has issues with self-control and keeping his hands to himself. He's already been in trouble for doing inappropriate things in bathrooms. He has, a lot of past behaviors with inappropriate, acts. So here he's out all day. Okay, so I have a gay son, and I know this. My son has Grindr. I don't know if you're familiar with Grindr.
I've heard of it.
We cannot go anywhere where he doesn't get hit up to meet a guy in the bathroom. Like everywhere we go. We could be at the grocery store. We could be at Walmart. We could be at Home Depot. We could just be driving by a certain building and because it tracks you by location.
Oh my God. Really?
It's unbelievable. Oh yeah, all the gyms. I don't know if you have any gay men watchers to your channel, but people that have, if you do, put a poll out there. How many men that are gay have Grinders? Like, it's unbelievable how men's bathrooms are complete hookup places. I never knew.
Well, it used to be rest stops, right? I mean, that used to be where they would meet up.
It's everywhere. We can't even go out to dinner without, even the waiters, messaging my son on their phones in the back room. Like the waiters at the restaurants, all the gay men, it's a whole gay.
Well, they're horn dogs,
thing.
They are. They're horn dogs.
And it's these undercover, married men that are bi, and they hook up with a lot of gay men. Also, you have that whole group.
Yep.
So they can't really do it at home. So they're meeting up at these places.
Right. But what do you think was Sebastian though?
So they were out and about all day, and I kind of feel like maybe he met somebody in a bathroom, and he's been having some kind of thing, talking to some guy in the bathroom. That's what I think.
That day?
It completely does.
Or...
I think all the time, yeah. And I think he tells him where he wants to go. His mom, hey, I want to go to BJ's and I want to do this, and then go talk to the guys in the bathrooms. And I think he says, oh, I want to go to Roadhouse, and meets the guys in the bathroom. I think he's met up with guys. I think he's talked to guys, and I hate to say it, my son at 15 was doing things that I didn't know he was doing, that I didn't find out until he was older, and he admitted these things to me, and I thought I was a hover parent, and I knew everything because I had a real open relationship with him. I thought he was telling me everything, and he wasn't telling me everything. He did a lot of things I had no idea he was doing. There was a point where he even had a link that he had put up where he kind of made some weird video even on YouTube. It was weird, and guys could click on the link and stuff, and he was talking to guys through YouTube. My son was at 15. So this was even a different, YouTube now, they're a lot more strict than they used to be. There's a lot more things on YouTube, 10, 15 years ago, that you could do. But my son was doing things I had no idea that he was doing. Talking to older men. One day he had a gaming system came to our house. This guy bought him a pink Nintendo gaming system, and it was like a handheld, and it had Pokemon on it. And they were talking through the Pokemon game. And I'm like, man, this is a groomer. He goes, yeah, I know it is. But my son, he didn't let them really groom him. What he did was he took advantage of them trying to groom him, and he got gifts and stuff. And he had them send him money. He was my son was he didn't let them groom him. I'll just say it that way. He took advantage of it. And he got gifts and all kinds of stuff from these weird old men. And I'm going to say even to today, he kind of does stuff like that. And it's weird. In that lifestyle, it's a very different lifestyle, I will say. And bathrooms, it just sent a big red flag to me because you heard it on both sides. You heard it from Chris and you heard it from Seth, and both of them said that he was doing inappropriate things in bathrooms.
Who said that?
So where did he?
I've never
Both of
heard
them
that
did.
about bathrooms.
Oh yeah, it's in interviews. They both said it. Both of them said it on different interviews.
Do you know which
That was,
interviews? Because I don't recall hearing that about bathrooms.
yeah, I'll have to find them. I'll have to find them. Yeah, no, they both said it. Both of them said it. That he got in trouble. Seth said it on the thing, like, oh, it wasn't that serious. It was like, you show me yours, I'll show you mine kind of thing in the bathroom at school. And I was like, wow, that right there, that to me, like, who's teaching? He's learning to hook up in bathrooms. And I thought that was very.
I think it was just like because it was at. I think it was just because it was at school. Like, I think if he learned to show like his thing, it would have allegedly come from his dad who walked around naked when he was a kid.
Yeah, or the fact that he was already molested by somebody else, you know?
Maybe.
That was another thing, you know, I was thinking, you know, that kid that molested him when he
Like,
was
what the
younger
fuck is this? And
is
everybody's
also
like, what the
older
fuck
now,
is
and
this?
he's older now. That's something I would look into, is making sure that person didn't contact him in some way.
Who?
When he was molested by the older kid.
Oh.
When he was 8, I would look into to make sure that kid didn't contact him in some way, because it's very common also for even victims to contact in that type of thing, you know, for them to contact each other later. That would be something I would look into. But no, it's just weird. I really feel like he met up with somebody and he left. It's
gotcha.
I really feel that. I feel like every single thing that they said that he doesn't have when it comes to media and access to things, he absolutely has access. You have Switch. You have access on a Switch. Minecraft. I play Minecraft even today. I like Minecraft. I'll be in a room with a bunch of little boys. This kid, he broke my house. Go get, you know, like I have these little kids telling me to go correct the other little kids because they like break each other's houses and stuff. But like, Minecraft is a fun game. But
I've never,
you know,
I can't
it's
say I've ever
absolutely
played
online.
any of those games, but I hope that you turned in the person that was grooming your son. That's concerning.
Yeah, no, I never did. My son became an adult, and it was a choice that he made not to. I didn't realize it until he was an adult and we talked about it. But I didn't turn the person in. That, you know, and I never even thought about, maybe I should. That's something that maybe that person is still out there grooming other kids.
I mean, those people don't change, right? What state are you in?
Yeah, they don't. I'm in Texas.
Oh, in Texas.
I'm in Texas, yeah.
Wow.
The guy wasn't even in Texas, though. The guy that was sending him stuff wasn't even in Texas. This was some guy that he met online. He goes, you know, in Discord chat rooms.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a lot of different servers and stuff, and then they will meet up in games and everything. It's unbelievable the things that the kids do, and that I wasn't even aware that my son was doing when he was that age.
Well, I don't know. I raised 2 boys myself, and my boys weren't doing any stuff like that. They weren't doing anything like that. They played video games, but yeah, I never had any experiences like that. However, my children are older.
And ask them now?
Well,
right, mine are all adults now. Have you ever sat down now as they're adults?
Oh,
say, hey,
sure.
You know what? Did you ever do this stuff? Wouldn't you know?
Sure.
They'd admit it to you now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've talked about stuff like that.
Yes, mine too. Yeah, mine did though. Mine did do it all behind my back, and I had no idea a lot of the stuff. Now I do see it now with the grinder and all that, but I mean he's 27. I can't, you know, he's an adult. He can do whatever he wants. But he definitely, the whole grinder thing in bathrooms, and oh my God, bowling alleys are huge for it. They're all in the bowling alleys, and especially a bowling alley with a bar. I mean, I could really gaming arcades. Those people they're all there hooking up with each other. I'm not saying that they're predators there, but what I'm saying is the game society that you don't see it. It's like unless you are around it, how it's happening in the background in those bathrooms at all these places. Like I was just in shock. I can't even believe it. Like we can't even go to the grocery store without somebody. Oh, I see you on aisle 4. Meet me in the bathroom. Like to my son, everywhere we go. That's what Grindr is. It's unbelievable. But I'm not saying he was on Grindr, but these people are out there meeting in the bathrooms. His chances of coming across.
Why is
this
it just
are very high.
bathrooms? I'm confused.
I don't know. Yeah.
Can you explain
I don't know.
that?
It is though. I don't know why it's bathrooms.
Did you? I mean,
it is bathrooms. It's where they're meeting.
I mean, like your son, he didn't tell you why it's bathrooms.
Well, see, I mean, that's the only closed-off area in a public place there is. I think.
Hmm.
I mean, they are also meeting like different gyms and stuff. The Planet Fitness here. Every time we drive by the Planet Fitness, people are because it goes by location. Grindr does. It tells you how many feet you are away from somebody. And like, if you go near Planet Fitness and you have Grindr, people are you should download the app. Make
I'm
like
good.
a fake thing and go by a Planet Fitness and you'll see what I'm saying.
No, I'm
like,
good.
Literally, you're gonna get hit up and hit up.
I'm all set on
well,
that.
You don't. Okay, but somebody.
All right. Well, you have a good night. All right, we're gonna take some more calls. Thanks for calling in.
Night.
Take care. Stay safe. The phone lines are open. 727-755-6001. Cricket says keep it going. Why, Cricket? I don't know. Was Sebastian on Grindr? I don't know. I mean, what we just talked about is real, but it's like crazy. I know. Sparkling Bubbles says, good grief.
Cheapers.
Oh.
Call from.
Fellow Bulldog.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Hello, fellow Bulldog. You are live on the air with Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Is this Teresa?
It is.
Hey, girl.
It is. Hey.
Y'all.
Oh, gosh.
It's so good to talk to you.
Yes, you too. You too. I watch you all the time. I log in on my phone where you can see me, but other than that, I'm on my TV, and I haven't figured that out yet. So
I appreciate
I watch
you
a lot more than you know. You're great.
I love it.
I love your coverage, and I love how you let people voice their opinions, and it doesn't have to be everybody's opinion.
No, and it's definitely not. Everyone's going to feel differently about especially stuff like this, right? Like.
Right, for sure.
So what do you think? What's your theory on this?
I don't know. It's sad to say, but when I heard yesterday about the bone being found, part of me felt relieved because I thought, oh, he's gonna finally, this is a peace,
It's gonna come to an end.
Be at peace with this, and let's bring it to an end and figure out what really happened. I really think law enforcement knows a lot more than they're telling us. I really do. I mean, we've seen that in a lot of cases where all of a sudden this other stuff comes out. But every once in a while, especially the photo thing.
Man.
I had to jump back from that and take a break from my own mental health.
Yep.
I was waking up and thinking about this and going and seeing any updates, and it just got too much, especially when the details start coming out, and it's just all these evil people.
It's bad.
It's you heard about the splash park, right? In Rochester?
Yes.
Gosh.
So get this. I was watching today, and I saw that the prosecutor's office in Oakland County is ready to no, not ready, but they said that they were willing to consider charges on his mom.
Yes, I heard that, and also the sister. Because I
This-
guess he had pulled his gun.
Yes,
I guess he,
yes.
had pulled his gun on her, and she didn't report it when she should have. Obviously there was an episode going on with this guy, But no, I heard that too. What do you think of that? Do you think? I mean, I kind of thought that was just going to be, 18. Once you're 18, you're an adult. It'd be 18 and under for those kind of charges. But wasn't this guy like
40?
27 or
He's
something?
42, dude, and he's lived with his mom for 19 years.
No, I didn't even hear that.
Yes. So it's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I don't know what the fuck to think because it's like,
I know,
she's
I
on
know.
vacation, but I guess what happened is like, did you hear this? The sister went over to check on him. He was walking around the
Okay.
house with a gun. He pulled a gun on her, and she called mom and said, I'm not going back over there. He did this with the gun. And the mom said, I'll deal with it when I get home in July. That's what I read in the Oakland Press. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
I think it's the Oakland Press, whatever the hell that's called.
Right.
But yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
probably.
so now we have Karen McDonald again with precedent charges.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
They found 11 guns in his house.
Oh no! See, I didn't hear a whole lot more. It kind of sickened me, so I stopped watching for a little bit.
Yeah,
You
it came out. They found
but
11 guns. The neighbors were worried that maybe he was going to start shooting up like around the neighborhood. That he had another plan.
They must have known he wasn't right too.
Yeah, they said. I think they said he was always home and quiet and reserved. They always say that. But yeah, man, awful. Those poor children.
Wow.
The one thing I don't know, I didn't hear an update. The mom and the 8-year-old that were shot were in critical, and I haven't heard a different update on that.
Yeah, the only thing that I had read was they were still, all in the hospital, as of today, being treated.
Yeah.
So
sad.
I don't know care-wise. How sad. Gosh.
I mean, a freaking splash
that's so
pad.
close to home for us. Right. And why? I mean, what? I just,
I don't know.
People just flipping the,
Right. Like, what made him jump in his car and drive up there,
Take off
do
and
that, and then
decide
go
to-
home?
Right.
What was he going to do if the cops didn't follow him home?
Mm-hmm. Well, it took so long for a picture of him to come out, too.
I haven't seen one.
Usually pretty much right away.
Is there one out?
Yeah. Yep, there is
Oh,
one
I
out.
got to look
Yep.
for that. I haven't seen him.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
Michael Nash, right?
Yep, Nash. Yep. Crazy.
I don't see any pictures.
I seen one. Oh, you know what? I'll try to find it. I think it was on Metro Detroit Crimes or something.
Oh, like on Facebook. Yeah, if you find it, email it to me and I'll post it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been
For
wanting to
sure,
see
I
what this
will.
dude
Yeah.
looks like. Oh my God, how awful.
Yeah, like most of these guys, just normal, It just, you don't believe it that, they did that, it just,
Craziness.
Yeah, especially with the Maddie Soto thing. I just,
Mm.
I just can't believe Jen is just, I think they're just, I don't know what the point. She can't take a plea. She can't, not a plea, testify against him or anything, because look what the charge they already have towards him. I mean, he's done.
I don't see why.
So what's the hold up here?
Mm.
What's,
Well,
I
did you
just-
watch
I
Nancy
don't-
Grace tonight? She did
I didn't.
She did an episode on this, and they were talking about that. Like, what is the holdup? Like, she literally told them to go sleep upstairs in room number 4.
Right.
And they were
Right.
saying that maybe they just don't even have eyes on her. That maybe they're just going for Stearns.
Going
And I just felt sick hearing that. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
that doesn't seem
Yeah,
like
for
justice
sure.
for Maddie because her mom was supposed
No,
to
not
protect
at
her,
all. Right. Yeah,
Sickening.
you could tell on the body cam though. Grandma sure wasn't happy
Mm-mm.
I could just read into her. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she did not like Stearns, and she knew something was wrong.
Right, yeah.
But the aunt
You
that
know,
Nancy Grace had on was actually the dad's side of the family.
Side of the family, yeah. Yes.
So
Sister-in-law, I think, wasn't it?
she didn't really have much to add because,
No.
obviously they didn't know anything. So
Right. And, trying to co-parent across the states, it's, and I do believe Jen probably, tried to keep her from him, especially if Jen knew there was any secrets, that could come out.
yeah, like room number 4.
You can't go that long. How do you not know that? It just.
I don't know. Like, where was Stearns getting money if he wasn't ever working?
Right. Yeah, for all these expensive gifts he was grooming her with, and
1,700 photos. I mean,
oh gosh, it's just sickening.
It's awful.
Well, all we can do is just pray that all these victims get justice.
Absolutely.
That's all we can really do. So, well, it was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you too, hon.
So yes. So okay, well, I will keep watching you, and I'll.
Are you still in the ROMEO?
And just north of there.
Oh, are you?
Omont.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Close enough.
Yep.
Man, I miss home. I miss
Fit in
home.
Romeo all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure. Well, I love you, girl.
I love you too. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Keep on keeping on.
All
Okay.
right. Bye, hon. I think that's a wonderful place to stop the call-ins tonight with my old high school friend, Miss Teresa. Yes, Michael William Nash. What a bastard, huh? But we've been talking about Craddock tonight. So I want to play this from Craddock. This would be 2 months ago already. This would have been on April 2nd.
Since late February. The investigation remains ongoing with steadfast support from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and many other local and federal resources. We are exploring every lead that comes in and every tip that comes in. As I said before, the investigation remains ongoing. The entire community is deeply saddened by what has occurred. We're all extremely concerned for Sebastian's welfare. I want to encourage the community to stay vigilant, to report anything that they think may be of some significance to the investigation, no matter how minute it may appear to be to you. Please call 1-800-TBI-FIND with any tips, or the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838. We understand the anxiety and the concern that this case has caused in the community. We too share the anxiety and concern for Sebastian. I want to reiterate that we are doing everything we can to find Sebastian and bring him home. Despite the passage of time, the commitment to finding Sebastian remains unwavering. I said this when we scaled the search back. Our commitment to finding Sebastian remains. We will continue to investigate every possible lead that comes in. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office wants to express our gratitude to the community and the many individuals who have helped in the search, the many individuals who have called in tips, the many individuals who have printed flyers and kept Sebastian's face in the news. Nothing would make me happier than to wake up tomorrow morning with a tip that cracks this case wide open and we find Sebastian and bring him home. At this time, I'll turn it over to Susan Allen from the TBI.
Thank you, WG. Hi, good morning. Thanks for being here. We know how invested everybody is in the search for Sebastian, in finding out what happened to him and bringing him home. And we want to let everybody know he has not been forgotten. Nobody's forgotten about him. Nobody has given up looking for him. At the beginning of this investigation, there was a large land search for him. It was very visible. There were also waterways, lakes, ponds that were searched. There were aerial searches with helicopters and drones and fixed-wing planes. They were done at night. They were done on weekends. They were done during the day. That was very visible, and it was something everybody was able to see. But we want to let you know that even though there is not that high visibility in investigating this case, that we are not done. It's gone back to what could be considered good old-fashioned police work.
Good old-fashioned police work.
Interviewing individuals, re-interviewing individuals, checking out leads, rechecking leads. We have been working with other law enforcement agencies who have had, in other jurisdictions, who have perhaps had some complex cases of their own that they have worked on to get tips from them. We have had, this day of technology with everyone having cell phones and doorbells and ring bells and surveillance cameras. That, as you can imagine, has been a bit of a chore to be able to collect all those and then review them. It's important so we know what's out there. We have been reviewing that, reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that.
Susanna, thank you for becoming a Patreon member today.
Secret Service has also
This is from April the 2nd.
Helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can.
Listen to this part again, guys.
Reviewing it again. We have had other agencies involved. The FBI has been helpful in that. Secret Service has also been helpful in that. So we are just trying to do whatever we can to advance the investigation. It has not gone to a place where anybody has forgotten about him or is not pursuing this. The parents have been cooperative throughout at the beginning of the investigation. They have pretty much done whatever law enforcement has asked of them. At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved. But we are keeping options open. We don't know what has happened. We don't know where Sebastian is right now, so we are pursuing any and all avenues. We do want to caution there are some social media elements out there who purport to have information that is direct from the investigation. I just want to reiterate that that is not the case. Some of the information that is being provided on some of the social media channels is inaccurate, incomplete. We don't want this to damage the investigation, so we would just caution anyone who is following the case to just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe. It's caused a bit of a distraction because a lot of what has been out there in some of the social media channels has been rumors and speculations and theories, and some of that has been advanced and people have caught a hold of it as if it's what's really happening. That has resulted in us getting information that is either, like I said, distracting. It's taking away time and effort from what the agencies need to be doing as far as looking for Sebastian. We have had so far, as of this morning, 314 tips that have come in through the tip line. It's been mentioned, but I'll say it again. It's 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are also taking tips through email, which is tips to TBI, TBI, at tbi.tn.gov. What's next? We want people, as the Chief Deputy said, to continue to remain vigilant, get Sebastian's picture out there, continue to share his picture, his information. Now that it's getting to be nicer, well, not today with the weather, but now that the weather has turned warmer, people may be more inclined to be in their yards. If you go out and see anything that looks different, let us know. Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where a teen could have gone to hide or to play, and you don't feel comfortable checking it out, let us know. We'll get somebody from law enforcement to go out there with you or to check it out themselves. We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we want people to make sure that we are looking everywhere we can. We do want to continue to get the tips, but please don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he likes to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in. Finally, we want to thank the community. We want to thank the media. You guys have been really good about keeping his name in the public's eye. That's really important. And thank you for your diligence in providing that information out there. And as Chief Deputy said, we also want to thank the community. From the very first day, everybody has really been all in as far as whatever they can do to help in the search, to help pass information on, providing water for the teams that were out conducting the ground searches. So thank you again to everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Eric Craddock.
Mr. Craddock.
The weather is rolling in. We've got time for some questions, so yes, ma'am.
I was doing it behind, so sorry if I missed it, but has there been any indication at this point of foul play or anything of that nature?
Any indication of foul play? Yeah, that dude's 42. Yes, that's him. Teresa says that's the screw. Yes, that's him.
There is no evidence to support foul play is involved in the disappearance of Sebastian.
But at this point, you don't rule it out?
We're not ruling anything out.
So 5 weeks, and you guys covered so much ground. searching, going back, researching, checked out every case of a possible sighting, nothing confirmed. Not a trace of Sebastian anywhere, nothing found. No footprints, no video, nothing.
Nothing that is taking us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up.
Okay, he says, but nothing on any of those videos or anything, and he says, nothing that's taken us to locate Sebastian. So that doesn't mean there's nothing there. It just means nothing that has helped them to locate him, but it doesn't mean it's nothing that's given them clues. That they don't have any clues, they just haven't located him. Listen to that.
Nothing that is taking us to locate Sebastian.
And are there any working theories?
We come up with theories almost daily and try and investigate and make sure that we're doing everything we can to find Sebastian.
Share any of those?
No, sir.
He says, that's Nick. He says, we come up with theories every day. And he says, do you want to share some of those theories? He says, no. Just like Nick Barris asked him, is that a trash truck? And he said, no. And he said, can you tell me what it is? And he said, no.
Question, if I may. Have you ruled out Sebastian's mom and stepdad's involvement in this case? And as a follow-up,
Have you ruled up Sebastian's mom and stepdad in this case?
cleared their alibi?
I think the TBI said it best. They've been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement since day one of this investigation. There is no evidence to support foul play on the part of Sebastian's parents.
Is that moving to Memphis interfering at all with your investigation? Is it changing possibly the avenues of communication?
No, sir.
You mentioned when you were asked about recent evidence, we heard some rumors that didn't seem to have some validity, that there were glasses found within the past few days. Can you confirm that?
There were some glasses found in the past few days.
Have you been able to identify if they were Sebastian?
We are still investigating.
And on the Cajun Navy, have you found how was that coordination happening? Have you found their work helpful? Are you guys working in unison or a separate team?
The Cajun Navy is operating independently. They have not reached out to us.
Have you found their investigation or their work helpful, or has it been one of the distractions that have been mentioned?
One of the things that I really appreciate they've done is print flyers and keep Sebastian's face out there. It's my hope that one day somebody sees something and calls in and this case breaks wide open and we find Sebastian.
They claim they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
Where does the search go from here? It's been 5 weeks.
So that was about all of the threats that searchers were saying they were getting. And he says that there were no reports that came in. True crime and other stuff, I have the same thoughts. Hey, Pink Honey.
Do you believe he's still alive? And what are you guys going to continue working on?
My hope and prayer is that Sebastian is still alive, yes. We're going to continue to work on this investigation, follow up every tip and lead that comes in. Some of this may revert back to us going over some things that we've already done for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time. A fresh set of eyes never heard anything. We're going to continue to work to find Sebastian.
Have the stories been changing at all when you've been talking with people, interviewing them for a second time possibly?
There is no.
So the question was, has the stories changed at all since you have been re-interviewing people? And he is quick to bite back. There is no evidence of foul play. There is no evidence of foul play. Is he friends with the... I don't know. Meep. Meep, meep.
No evidence to support foul play.
Are there any active current leads that you guys are pursuing?
We have tips called in daily.
Any of those tips seem legitimate enough to expand law enforcement resources?
Regardless of their legitimacy, we're going to follow up on them.
Will there be any other agencies pulled in to help in the search efforts for this case?
I'm certain there will be.
You met with the biological father and mother this past week. Is that at their request, your request? Is that just re-interviewing them again?
That was at the request of law enforcement. It's not uncommon to talk to the family in investigations like this.
So he was asked, look at his face here. You interviewed bio dad and bio mom. Was that part of, re-interviewing, whatever he said? I trust Eric Craddock. I really, I really do. I really do think that he wants to find Sebastian.
I've got time for one more question.
Just overall, how has this investigation impacted the morale of your department, especially with all the scrutiny coming online?
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on it. The men and women of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the FBI partners, the other local agencies, the Secret Service, everyone who's had a hand in this case is doing everything they can to find Sebastian. Morale's high. We are here and we are dedicated. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for keeping Sebastian in the public. Please continue to publicize this photo. Thank you all.
He's very short and to the point. You guys crack me up. Holy shit, the poll. At 109 votes, y'all say 72% don't trust Eric Craddock. Ramona Durasset says, take a good look. This is the face of corruption. Poor Eric Craddock, really? Why do you think that? How about his sit down with Nick? Let's watch that real quick. This is a quick one.
There's been an exhaustive search for Sebastian Rogers, but with few updates from authorities in recent weeks, some have wondered, is enough being done?
We're doing everything we can do. Every time a tip comes in, we follow up on it.
Eric Craddock is chief deputy with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and heads up the investigation. He sat down for an exclusive one-on-one to talk about what they do when there are few new leads.
I think in the absence of information, what we'll continue to do is go back over everything we've already done once, put a fresh set of eyes on it.
To that end, Craddock says searchers recently found a pair of glasses, which they are checking to see if they belong to Sebastian. He says the parents continue to fully cooperate. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security video.
Sorry that was so loud.
The night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources, which we've circled here in an area behind the teen's home.
Thank you, Myron.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. I can't.
yeah.
This dude drives me nuts. This drives me nuts right here, okay? This drives me crazy.
No evidentiary value?
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know.
So yes, it could play a role.
So many are, of course, closely following this case. How difficult has it been, all the noise on social media?
Oh, the rumor mill on social media has done nothing to advance this case.
Craddock says investigators continue to work the case daily and deal not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
So I tripped out when I heard this. I was like, oh, he said stern. But I was told that it was probably just a slip up. This was April the 2nd. This was also April the 2nd. But listen, he says there is no stone left unturned. And I was like, oh, Stearns.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5. With feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
Eric says we're not helping. He's like, no social media tips, please. Well, I mean, look at what they've got coming in. Shit.
Cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
I asked about exclusive home security video.
Why is he seem so defensive?
No evidentiary value?
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
So many are, of course, closely following this case. How difficult has it been, all the noise on social media?
Oh, the rumor mill on social media has done nothing to advance this case.
Craddock says investigators continue to work the case daily and deal not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
There's no stern left unturned. Ouija board, Cindy says. They have a lot of cases to work on, Sumner County. He sounds like CP, you think? Pine needle, stop. Actually, the Stern interview at his house. What do you mean, Ramona? Sounds exactly words of Chris Proudfoot, so much I had to watch it twice. What Stern interview? He doesn't look like Proudfoot. He's actually cute. I like Craddock. I don't want you guys to say he's corrupt, because I think he's cute. I don't have a reason not to trust this dude. Just don't think he has the track record for a case this big. Yeah, but is he like the lead investigator? I know. He said Stern. It tripped me out when I first heard that. That's weird, huh? And Stearns was hiding Maddie's body while this was going on.
Not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick Barris, News Channel.
Okay, 73% of you don't trust him. Vicky, he said it would be studied. Weird. I do too, Jess. Mark. We don't know if he's friends with CP. He seems nervous to say the wrong thing, little. Probably know each other from school. He's trying to protect his job, says Janelle. Mark thinks Craddock has a spray-on beard. Yeah, I don't like that either, Pink Honey. What do you think of this? Do you think that that's a freaking slip?
Facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
I mean, Stearns was doing this, hiding Maddie while this search was beginning for Sebastian. It's so freaking weird.
We want to get to this breaking news right now.
Oops.
There's been continued to work the case, not with feelings, but facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
Nick.
Okay, what do we think? Y'all are crazy as fuck.
But facts and evidence.
There's no stone left unturned.
I bet he's in bed with the proud feet. My gut doesn't like him, but he has a cute face. Y'all, I love you so much. Grammy says, could you imagine having a meeting with him and Chris Proudfoot? Would never get anything done. Joey, when was the last interview Katie had? It's been a minute. Bella, but they don't want to get him on neglect of a child. They want to get all the evidence together and get them for whatever happened to Sebastian, right? We don't know what we don't know. Kathleen says he's a cutie pie. Did he, Pink Honey? We don't know what we don't know. Just a slip of the tongue. He knows how stern Chris is. We don't know what we don't know. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. This has been a wonderful call-in day. Sternstone. I think so, too. Mother McReady says, I trust him. I believe he's saying without telling. They are waiting for enhancement of the Ruckus flashlight vid where they can identify who it is. And the car, yes. Cindy, thank you so much. We need a whole show on credit calls. Okay, we will. We will. There are no stones left unturned. We don't know what we don't know. And I told him to go to bed. And he did. He has a tiny head, small mouth, poor guy. We love you. We love you, Craddock. We love you. All right. I'm telling y'all to go to bed, and you better. So thank you for calling in. If you missed calling in, hopefully next Wednesday we can talk to you. That is the creepy Michigan splash pad shooter. Sayonara. I mean, wow. So here's a thought for you ladies on the way out, and gents. We did a silly thing earlier. If you had to tell a secret to either Chris or Seth, who would it be, right? Now we're going to dance it out and roll our credits and all that good stuff. And we're going to do this. If you had to choose a future husband, would it be dun, 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 Michael Nash or the lovely, wait, where's my Eric Craddock? Put a 1 for Michael Nash, put a 2 for Craddock. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do a special live stream for you guys tomorrow. Stay safe, get some sleep, and I'll see you on the flip side. Good night, guys. Thanks for all the lovely call-ins, and thank you, moderators, for being here. Bye, y'all. So much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further? Bring it all in. And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. Something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back.
One Jennifer or two Jennifers?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer loves horses. Hi, Jennifer.